The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Good afternoon, St. Louis, DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Tuesday, DGS.
Happy Tuesday.
Hi.
Did I say DGS twice?
I don't think so.
Remember.
Too much happening in that little moment. You know, how do you keep track?
I know. Hardest thing I do all day.
Yeah.
Can't believe I can talk today. I had band practice last night, and after a couple hours of singing, I was like, oh, there's no show tomorrow. It's back.
Nice.
It's a Christmas miracle like Carol Brady.
Is it just starting to get tuned up again?
Yeah.
Where it can like handle the workload?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I sing every minute I'm in the car.
Okay.
So
you sing along to Rush Hour, huh?
Oh, you're my only exception.
That would be actually a pretty good tape if you could record that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
What do you sing?
Just whatever songs we're working on.
No.
So, yeah, I'm not a big singer otherwise. Like, I just don't. Kind of weird. Since I'm a singer. Yeah. Yeah. We just had a story. Dave Murray just said the days are getting shorter, and I'm celebrating. I'm like, yes, days are getting shorter. And Wheels is like, you're the only one. I know one other, Trish Gazelle.
Say probably not the only, but probably a small percentage.
Yeah, Trish and I could live in a cave and
I would
be
live
fine.
like this all year round. Like I would like it to be lighter when I'm going home in the winter too.
Boy, I used to be like that.
Yeah.
But now not only do I like it 50 degrees, but I like it darker.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because I'm not much of a morning guy, so I'd rather have the, later sun.
Vic says, when's the next gig? Next gig is at Frankie Martin's out in Cottleville on Sunday, August 16th, I believe from like 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
You did another one when I'm out of town.
I know.
You're avoiding me.
That's right.
You don't want my cheers. Are you afraid I'm going to be loud like
cheers
the
are too
laughing
loud.
at the comedy show and I'll be like
Yes.
doing too much?
Afraid you'll heckle me.
I would never do that. I may throw something here and there.
So I have a lot of bad things to say about Trump today, but it's my understanding that he wants to keep daylight savings. Okay. I've been doing this for 26 years. Andrew, you've been hearing me do this for 15. Like, I can never understand it. So are we in daylight savings now? Is this what they want to keep? Because if this, I think it's called Save the Sunshine or something like that act, that if they're successful, we wouldn't fall back.
Yeah, so we are currently in daylight savings time.
Yes.
Okay.
We will daylight savings time will end later this year on November 1st when we will fall back 1 hour to standard time.
Gotcha. So that just wouldn't happen anymore.
I guess
We would
I think
just
we
stay
would
on
fall
this, I
back to
think.
standard time and we would not
Oh, I thought it was the
spring
opposite.
forward. We are in daylight savings time now.
Yeah.
So when we fall back, we will get back to standard time, which is
Right.
what I believe they want to stay at.
They want to stay at standard.
They
Oh,
wanna
I thought
stay
they
at
wanted to
standard.
stay where it was light longer.
I could be totally wrong. We could probably easily figure this
Let me
out.
look.
Not easily.
Yeah.
The House could vote on the Sunshine Protection Act.
That's such a dumb name.
They're all dumb.
That's such a stupid.
They're all dumb.
Okay, Wheels is correct. The Sunshine Protection Act calls for permanent daylight savings time. For some reason, I thought they would be getting rid of daylight saving.
Yeah, they also have, I guess it's
Could it be?
Functionally the same thing, though, right?
Well, you're
No.
getting rid of the change, but it's always going to be daylight savings. And I love the titles of these bills, right? Sunshine Protection Act and the Sunshine for Our Kids Act. That's a better way to look at it, I think, because like in the winter, fall, the darker times of year, like your sun's gone by the time you're done with school. You get done with school, you come home, do your homework, and now the sunlight's gone. You're not going to have any time to go outside and do those things. Not that kids do as much as they used to.
The downside, if we do this,
Yeah.
would be that it's darker later in the morning.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And there's the concern about sleep cycles, but like it changes now right?
Yeah.
Twice a year,
Yeah.
forward and back. So maybe the consistency would end up being better. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I just don't think it's ever going to change.
I need to say thank you to my good friend Kevin Wheeler, because last night I was on my way home from practice and I asked my phone, how did Jordan Walker do in the home run derby? And I just screenshotted it because it was the AI Google, and it said he hit 13 in the opening round, but not enough to advance. So I'm like, okay, I don't give a rat's ass anymore. And I get home and I'm watching CNN, and Wheels texts me. He's like, "Are you watching?" I'm like, "No, why would I watch?" And then he's like, "Turn it on right now."
It was right before Walker did his final round.
It's crazy.
I texted you before that, but when you got it, you were like, "No, what's going on?" I'm like, "Well, Walker's about to hit in the finals."
Yeah, that was. Come on.
It was storybook.
Yes.
This whole season has been like storybook for him, right? I mean, we can flash back to the last 2 years of struggles and all that stuff. We don't even really need to. Go back 4 months. The middle of spring training, they had to pull him from spring training games because he was struggling so badly. They had to get him out of the game setting, put him on the backfields, put him in the lab, do some work. And even then, when he came back, it wasn't great. And then all of a sudden, the season started, and he's just rocking. And now here you are, 4 months after that, roughly 4 months after that time where you had to pull him from spring training games because he's struggling. He's now the home run derby champion. He's a legitimate all-star. He's one of the 20 best hitters in Major League Baseball. And the conversation now is it's changed from, does this guy need to go to Memphis, to, should we be giving this guy a $300 million contract? Like, it's changed so much, and it's all such a feel-good story. It feels like too good to be true, right?
It does.
It's the Cinderella story. It's turning around. It's a guy that's always had ability, finally figuring it out.
Yeah.
And he's a great dude. Like, he and JJ Weatherhold are great faces for a franchise, right? Good talkers. They seem to get it. They interact well with fans. They do great interviews. Walker was awesome last night. Every time he was on camera, he gave the right answer.
Yeah.
When they asked him about being booed, he's like, well, they don't boo nobodies. Like, that's it. That's the answer. That's so great.
So impressive.
That was a great night for Cardinals fans because first of all, it's the first Cardinal to ever win a home run derby. And Albert had been 4 times, and Albert's been, he's one of the top 5 hitters of modern times in baseball. And, so you're getting a unique thing, but it's also just, it's fun to finally have guys that are going to get the national attention. I mean, he's everywhere today. Jordan Walker's on Pat McAfee. He was obviously all over the post game last night, sitting there with Bonds and Pujols on the couch.
Yeah.
This is a good thing for him individually, but for Cardinals fans, for the organization, these things are a bigger deal than you might think.
And you know what? I've always loved Jordan Walker, but last season I was ready to walk away.
A lot of people were.
I'd had enough.
Yeah, a guy tweeted at me today and made a really good point, just basically like, well, this is why you don't give up on young players. And that's correct. That's why you keep giving Walker chances. That's why you keep giving Nolan Gorman chances.
Unless it's Gorman and...
Well, no, but Walker got the same treatment in the past that Gorman got now. It's no different. It's why you don't just get rid of them. Fans are always like, just get rid of them. They suck. Well, no, when they're young, you keep them around and you work with them and you try to get to the point where they figure it out. Some don't ever figure it out, but obviously you can see some guys do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really cool start to, not start, but this is a really cool part of the year for the Cardinals, right? Because you've exceeded expectations. Whether you're great or not and you'll maintain it, we don't know. We got a whole, 3 months left. But you've exceeded expectations so far. You have now given even more hope to the fan base because not only do you have 2 star players that are 23, 24 years old, and they're going to be around for a while that you can build around, market around, construct your lineup around, but you also have a bunch of the best prospects in baseball that are near the major leagues, double and triple A level. And 2 different independent publications, ESPN and MLB.com, just rated the Cardinals as having the best draft in the whole sport. And you're starting to see where the hope is. That's the key, right? What did the Cardinals need to do this year? They needed to find out about players, but you also wanted to start rebuilding your fan base and providing that hope, because the past couple of years, it wasn't just the record that was the problem. It was also like, all right, how does this change? Because there wasn't a lot of hope on the horizon. Weatherholt a year ago was just a dream, right? He's a prospect. And prospects are great, but he's now a known commodity and one of the better players in baseball, even as a rookie. So when you can kind of solidify that and then show that your processes work. You did the work with Walker, and he got better. You're doing the work with some of your pitchers, and they're getting better. They're doing good things. That process is a big thing for establishing hope, too, because now you can look at all these prospect lists and go, man, there's a good chance a bunch of those guys are going to be okay because they're doing a better job developing them.
And Rach, she won $1 million.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, his salary this year is $799,000, and he just made $1 million in one evening.
Good for him. 24 years old. You love to see it.
That's pretty great.
No,
isn't it?
he's a great guy. I love it. And I'm just like over here Googling like his life because his parents are so cute.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, maybe that's his sister, but his girlfriend was there last night. It's just a very nice like human interest story on top of everything else.
Yeah. Because his parents are really fun. They're cool interviews. You know, like his
When his
dad was
dad's
getting all
his
excited.
dad was going crazy.
When his
It
dad
was
said
so cute.
Jordan's swing looked like his, I was like, oh, come on. That's so cute.
The picture that's going around, his dad's holding the trophy.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really sweet.
It was cool. You know, he got his. If you guys see, the Cardinals put out a video this morning of Walker's dad, and he was, him reacting in the crowd, and then they bring him on the field, and after the home run derby, it's like he gets greeted by Barry Bonds, and Barry Bonds says that's the best home run derby performance I've ever seen
That
to
was
him
something.
about his son.
That was
and
something.
Afterwards, he was like, "Man, coming from you, wow."
Yeah.
I mean, that's why
Ryan Howard putting the necklace
Ryan
on
Howard
him.
coming over as a St. Louis guy, but a Philly star, comes over afterwards and he takes the Liberty Bell chain that the Phillies have and he puts it on Jordan Walker. That's cool.
Yeah. Craig says, is it true that Walker was booed when he came out there?
Oh, yeah.
But everybody
he was booed the whole time.
He didn't get booed until he was matched up against Schwarber. Right? Everybody matched up against a Phillies guy, so it was really only Schwarber because Harper didn't make it out of the first round. They booed really hard for like Wilson Contreras from the word go.
Sure.
But they didn't really boo until it was the head-to-head. So, in the second round, I forget who Schwarber's matchup was there. Was it God, I can't believe I don't remember it. But anyway, they were booing his opponent. No, it was Contreras. So they were booing every swing that he hit a home run, and they were cheering every time he failed. Yeah. And then they did the same thing to Walker, except Walker just stopped failing at the end, and they all had to be quiet.
And Walker handled it perfectly.
He was so chill.
Yeah.
That was great.
Tell you guys about Dr. Kathy Maupin, and I am quite confident that most of you out there could sit in my chair and do this live. But every time I talk about her, the phone rings because it's like the quarter machine. Everything's a quarter machine, right? It's a quarter machine in that when I was 35, I wasn't worried about testosterone at all. Maybe having too much, right? And then you're like, oh, boy, I can't play basketball the way I used to. And you're like, oh, gosh, yeah, it would be nice to be romantic. And you get to a certain point, and usually some kind of a trigger, and maybe this is your trigger, and you go in and you get a blood test from someone like Dr. Kathy Maupin. She's the premier person in town for the testosterone replacement. And you find out, right? And like I always say, I found out that my testosterone numbers were good to high, but my free testosterone, what my body actually uses, was low. And so I've been doing the pellets now. This will be my 8th year, and I just don't think about it anymore. It's just my life. And it brings everything back. Everyone's going to react differently, of course, men, women, you, me. But I don't know anyone who's ever done it that regretted it. And then right next door, BioBalance Skin, where you can do Botox and chemical peels and things like that. Great for occasions. You got class reunion, something coming up. You want to look your best. So reach out to Kathy at biobalancehealth.com.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
You feel it every time you check out. Prices up, paychecks stretched, families squeezed. That's why Ann Wagner's fighting to get government off your back and out of your way. Wagner passed the largest tax cut in American history, expanded child tax credits, ended taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. And Wagner is working to lower costs so families keep more of their hard-earned money. But Ann Wagner knows delivering from Missouri means more than just protecting their wallets. It means protecting our streets as well. That's why Wagner fought to secure our border, deport dangerous illegal aliens, partner with law enforcement, and put predators behind bars and off our streets so our neighborhoods and communities stay safe. Because real effective leadership protects what matters most: your money, your family, your safety. Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. You know, when you go to the Audiology Center, you'll see a doctor of audiology. And with us right now, Dr. Colleen Bosler. Dr. Bosler, what are some of the signs of hearing loss?
Well, it's a number of things. Sometimes loved ones notice a person asking others to repeat themselves, or the television is too loud. What people tend to notice first with hearing loss is the loss of clarity. They can hear people talking, but they cannot always understand what's being said. That's because the hearing loss can cause you to miss certain consonant sounds, and those consonant sounds give us the detail to the word. A hearing aid can help bring back those details and give you a sense of clarity that you're missing.
Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center with 3 locations in the greater St. Louis area. Call for an appointment, 636-441-7470. Online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Welcome back, DGS on KMOX 122. Oh, man. Last night, I was as mad as I've ever been in my life at 2 of the people on my show.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Andrew and Rachel.
Oh.
Mostly Rachel.
What did
Wow.
I do?
Good.
It was a dream.
Oh, okay.
But you know how you wake up and you can't shake it? Can't believe I did that. So all of my
what was I
dreams,
doing?
I've told you guys, all my dreams are so stupid. They're always like a quest. It's never like a naked guy in a vest rolling a donut with a stick, right? It's always like Lord of the Rings.
That would be a nice change of pace.
Would be. And so I had a dream that the 3 of us were traveling, and we're at like a college or something. And, you know, I have to be here, then we have to be here, and blah, blah, blah. And we were all looking for something. And I said, okay, let's split up, but let's text each other. Oh, we're trying to find a car. We were in a white car, which I have a white car, and we were trying to find the car at a big, giant parking space lot. And I said, let's all go separate ways. Let's text each other when we find it. And then I lived a lifetime going into different places and all that stuff. And I finally, and I'm getting so frustrated and kind of scared. And so I called Rach, and she was like, yeah, we're home. We found the car. We're home. And I was like, and I was so mad in the dream, I didn't even have a retort. I just woke up out of rage. Like, why wouldn't you tell me you found the car?
Okay, so 2 things. First of all, we know that we couldn't do it without you because one time Rachel and I tried to take your car somewhere and it had the dial gear shift and we could not figure out how it worked. And we had to come back in and ask you, how do you make the car go?
Yeah.
How do you make the car go in different directions? We can't figure it out. Secondly, I'm not even upset that you were mad. I love it. I'm finally in someone's dream.
Oh, that's true. Andrew's never in our dreams.
It has been years and years of everybody going, I had a dream about the show last night. You weren't in it. But everybody else was in it, and they were so important. And then I had a dream one time where it was the three of you excluding me from your dream adventures. Like, I was trying to be a part of the dream adventures, and you guys were the three of you who were like, well, you're not really a part of this quest. You're not in this episode. You can go.
You just have to be an NPC in this one.
Yeah, I rarely dream about people I know anymore. I'm not sure why that is.
I wonder why.
It's just NPCs. Just a bunch of, like, randos that my brain created.
Mm-hmm. Do you take meds for sleep? That could be part of it.
Yeah, I take trazodone.
Yeah, that could be.
So, but I dream every night, and I remember it every night, and yeah.
Jeez.
I hate dreaming. If I think too much about it, it stops me from sleeping. Like I get into my own head. I mean, sometimes there are bad dreams, but most of them aren't. It's just like I don't know. It freaks me out to like think too much about it.
I get that.
Because it's like I'm about to, like you said, I'm about to go on some kind of quest or something that I have no say over,
and it's like non-consensual.
Exactly. I don't want to go on a quest. I want to close my eyes and wake up, and it's the morning, and I get up and go about my day.
Is that what you do, Wheels?
What?
Just you fall asleep and then you wake up?
I mean, I have dreams and I remember them, but it's rare. It's not all the time. Yeah. Once every week or two, maybe I'll remember a little bit of something. But I can remember that I did dream something. Like I'll wake up and I'll vaguely like, man, I can't remember exactly what that was, but something.
Boy, I remembered that one.
But most of the time, I don't remember very many details. But when I do, they're spectacular. Like they're awesome. Well, they're always something stupid. Like it's always a chase. It's always gorilla running in the hallway.
I took the ring to Mount Doom.
Yes,
it's such a funny way to describe it.
I don't always get to like. You mostly don't get to finish the quest.
That
but
two of my best friends in the world abandoned me, and his are spectacular.
Well, I mean, they're like action movies. They may not always go my way.
I looked in the mirror and I was Han Solo.
Like sometimes I've got the bad guys after me. Sometimes I'm just trying to find something, but it's always a chase, and you're jumping fences, and you're like trying to get down stairwells faster than somebody, so you start taking you're leaping over. Like it's just bizarre.
You're jumping over the side.
You gorilla run down a hallway. Like it's just stuff like that.
I don't think that's part of the action movie strategy.
No, it's just in mine.
When we come back, I have what I think is a fascinating story about psychopathy, being a psychopath.
Chris Ranchi and Amy Markscours connect you with the people, places, and conversations that bring our community together.
And now you get to hear about poo-poo in a box from a firefighter.
No, come on.
The hammerhead worm. And you get to hear about car fires.
And sinkholes.
I love our newsroom. I think they're doing a great job.
From neighborhood happenings to local heroes, from everyday challenges to unforgettable stories. Chris and Amy, weekdays from 9 to noon on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Let's take a break.
Good idea.
Hey, Tom, what are you doing on that Amendment 4?
You know we fought for our freedom and rights. I'm not giving them away without a fight.
4 takes them?
That's exactly what 4 does. For over 100 years, Missouri voters have used our constitutional power to act when the politicians refused. I'll be darned if I'm voting to pass on less freedom and power to my kids.
And doesn't 4 kill majority rule?
Yep, creates minority rule, where just 5% of statewide voters in one district can block any citizen-led reform, making it nearly impossible to pass citizen-led ballot measures.
That's just dumb.
And when the politicians refuse to act, we've used citizen-led ballot measures to pass some big stuff, like lobbyist reforms, term limits for career politicians, and outlawing tax hikes without voter approval.
I'm not surrendering my power and rights to a bunch of politicians and lobbyists. I'm no on Amendment 4.
Hard no on 4.
Petty 4 buttons are inch prepare governance.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's 1:30. This time check is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Now here's Dave Murray's weather forecast.
We continue with a nice break from hardcore summer and hardcore thunderstorms. Sunny skies going through our Tuesday afternoon. Still pretty comfortable. 89, 90 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. Nice evening, especially once that sun goes down as our days get shorter, 72. Wednesday, sunny skies, a slow increase in the humidity Wednesday afternoon, 91. Thursday and Friday, feeling a little more like summer, though nothing extreme. It's sunny, it's kind of hot and humid, 93 each day, and nothing more than a spot afternoon thunderstorm Thursday and again on Friday. Very tough to find. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
I'm Altima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Things in Washington, D.C. may seem unsettled at times by their lack of progress. But one department in the U.S. government is progressing. That is the IRS. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS is in full function to collect on unpaid taxes. If you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and get it resolved. Don't think the government is too busy to focus on my issues. Too many of my clients thought the same. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Lance Story Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Or call 314-260-6120 or visit LandStoryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
We are on the biggest stage in the world right now, and you know I am talking about soccer. The whole world is paying attention, and FanDuel has decided to change the game. And as you know, if you bet soccer, that sometimes your player gets subbed out, and then what happens? Your bet goes with them. Well, FanDuel says we have a better way to do it. That's not happening anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues with the substitute. So you are still in it until the final whistle. Just go to FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started now. I've been telling you about this app for many, many months. I love using it. It's easy to use. All the information you need is right there. FanDuel.com/Missouri. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Thursday night, it's City Soccer on KMOX. First up, Gen C's hosts a special soccer edition of Sports Open Line beginning at 6 from Energizer Park. Then, it's City SC facing Sporting KC. Pre-game 7:05, ticket 7:30. City Soccer on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Wait.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
It's the wrong one.
Yeah.
You didn't want the 8675309?
I did, but it's Tommy Two-Tone with a metal band redoing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I bet that's good.
The band's called No Resolve, so we'll play it for you now.
I bet that was a hell of a mashup.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played it for the guys in the band last night because we're doing Jenny in the band.
Okay.
And you're like, that's really cool.
Are they going to do it that way? You guys are going to give it a little
no, I don't
metal
think
crunch?
so. I don't think people would get the joke.
Yeah.
So
everything's better with a little more metal.
So I saw everyone I know is interested in psychopathy. You know, it's like, oh, you're a psycho, he's a psycho, she's a psycho. and I'm really interested in the actual people who are diagnosed with it. And last night I was watching a special on a guy. He's 25 years old. He was diagnosed officially at 23. And he's doing this long-form interview, and he's incredibly smart. And his whole purpose is to say, hey, being diagnosed with psychopathy does not equal you're a serial killer.
Right.
But the interviewer was saying, well, you know, not being a psychopath, I can't imagine what it's like in your brain. Can you give us some examples? And he told this story. And he said, I can tell you the first time my parents knew. So he was raised in a great family, no complaints, pretty affluent. And he said when he was 8 years old, he was in the yard playing with his 4-year-old sister. They had an in-ground pool. And his sister fell in the pool. And he said, I watched her for about 30 seconds. And he said, I had no emotion. If I could have chosen for her to not drown, I would have, because I liked her. We played. But I also thought it would be interesting to see a person drown. And so I just watched her. And after about 30 seconds, my mom heard her screaming, came running out, jumped in the pool, pulled her out, and then started screaming at me, why didn't you yell for me? Why didn't you jump in and try to get her out of the pool? And he said, I said to her, Mom, because my clothes are clean and dry. And that was his priority. He had so little empathy or emotion for his own little sister that what was right in front of him was, it'd be kind of interesting to see her glug glug all the way down, and I'm not going to get my clothes wet. I thought that was just so haunting and so telling that, but he said that he's like, look, I've had 1 million MRIs, and the part of my brain that has to do with empathy, it just doesn't light up. So he's like, I don't really feel guilty for it because
you're not choosing it.
Yeah, my brain is just my brain.
Right.
It's like there are people who are asexual. They just don't have any sort of sexual drive towards anyone. And he just doesn't have any sort of real emotion or connection to anyone or anything. And he said that I don't have emotion, so much like Dexter, I just model them. You know, I'm a smart guy.
Right. You can see how people act.
Yeah, I know what horror looks like. I know what, devastation looks like. And if I need to get through a situation, I'll just fake it.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, and just on the opposite end of the spectrum, there are also people that are extremely emotional and like more than the norm and the average. So there's obviously going to be that 0 to 100 scale.
Yeah.
Where he's a 0. Most people are probably between the 40s, right? You know?
Isn't that crazy, Rach?
Yeah, it is. It makes me think. So last spring, there was this influencer who there was a lot of online chatter about this person because her toddler son drowned in their pool in the backyard, and it was like, oh, she didn't put a fence up around her pool and she was supposed to, and blah blah blah. They didn't want the pool to look bad, so they didn't put up a fence. And then the little boy is in the backyard without any supervision, and he ended up drowning. But a big thing that was like uncovered and just talked about to death was the fact that when the boy's father discovered him in the pool, he stopped to take his shirt off before jumping in the pool.
Oh.
But everyone was like, oh, this is proof that he just doesn't even care about his kid. But I don't know. I always looked at it and thought, who knows how anyone would react in that situation? Haven't you ever been like under pressure and you're like, oh, I got to do this weird thing before I act?
Yeah.
So I didn't necessarily think that was, like proof that this guy's a sociopath. But anyway, that's just where my brain went when you were telling this story.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a movie where Macaulay Culkin was a little psycho kid?
The Good Son.
The Good Son, yes.
That's a great movie.
With Elijah Wood.
Yes.
Was Elijah Wood the good son?
Well,
that's
the Good Son is you might say it's kind of an ironic name of sorts. No, Macaulay Culkin plays like this. It's like his cousin, right? And he's supposed to be like a model child, but then it turns out he's like a little like, not like demon, like supernatural, but he's just like he's like a evil little murder kid. It's fun.
Love the way you
Macaulay
put that.
Culkin is like 9 in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's great.
Chilling, terrifying, horrifying.
Yeah. I had another thought.
What's that?
It's Deep Thoughts with Dave Bauer.
All right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm an agnostic. And I was just thinking about, well, what if I'm wrong? And I'm thinking about a creator of the universe. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks like this. But does anyone else find it weird that a personage, a deity, especially one made of all love, who's capable of creating anything, like this existence could have looked like anything, but decides that pretty much every animal on Earth will die violently and be eaten alive? That's how they're going to sustain themselves. It's like all the, I don't know what percentage of animals are meat eaters, but whatever it is,
It's a lot.
They kill thousands of other animals, every year. That just seems so like brutal.
You could design it a lot more efficiently.
Yeah.
Where everybody eats plants and everybody dies peacefully.
And then people will be like, well, that's the way it is. It's the law of the jungle. No, I get that.
Yeah.
I get there's no doubt. That's the way this earth works. Whether we popped up out of amino acids or God touched Adam, whatever it is.
Right.
It just seems like a weird plan.
Yep.
Very brutal.
But then the explanation is, well, we're not supposed to understand it. Well, okay, but that's a get out of jail free card for everything.
Yeah.
But think about if every single deer and rabbit and mouse and whatever all lived out their entire term and died of old age. That'd be bedlam.
Surrounded by their little mouse family.
Surrounded by their little mousy families.
If you were designing it all, you could design it so that they didn't overproduce. Right? You could design it so that they wouldn't overpopulate, that they wouldn't starve, that they would just live happy, peaceful, and then die happy, peaceful. You could, if you're that powerful, you could do it that way.
Yeah. It just strange choices were made.
Or not.
Or not.
Which is where the agnosticism comes in, because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it I always, just as an offshoot of that, because I do think about those things in a similar way to you that you do, Dave. And I just cannot get over how few people can accept I don't know. People just can't accept it. I have to decide. There is or there isn't. You don't know. And it's okay to not know. I'm not uncomfortable not knowing.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it because I can't, at least based on what we have in current human knowledge.
Yeah. I always say, I couldn't tell you how a toaster works, and I can't do basic long division. Who's going to listen to me about who God is? Right?
Yeah.
Especially if I'm making the claim. It's one thing if I say, I don't know. Okay, you don't know how to do long division. I can believe you don't know who God is. But if I tell you who he is or she is or it is.
Well, are you saying that because there are plenty of people out there who believe, who would absolutely be agreeing with you right now and say, yeah, I don't know. It's because I choose to believe that is my faith.
That's that's the whole purpose of faith is you believe without knowledge. That's what it is. I haven't looked up the dictionary, but that's basically the definition of faith. Is you believe something even if you can't prove it or don't know it.
Yeah. But I draw the line because...
Which is okay, too, by the way. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's...
When I was a believer and headed to Bible college and, Southern Missouri, whatever it was, I look back now and it was 80-20% emotion.
Oh.
And now it's 95% evidence and 5% emotion. And when people, I run into people all the time, Christians, and they're like, hey, Dave, I love you. I love the show. Let me tell you why I believe. Great. Let's have a conversation. But to me, it's just everyone has a different level of necessary evidence.
Right.
To believe in God, to support Trump, to believe your spouse is being good to you. We all have that. And I think mine's just a little higher.
Yeah. And it's just, I think it goes back, ties into the original topic in the segment about the psychopathy. Your brain is your brain. Well, you didn't make it that way. I didn't decide for my brain to work the way that it does. It's just what it is. And we have brains that range the scale from, completely never going to believe anything to believe anything. And then there's that range in between. And I don't think, I think, I guess the one thing that does bother me, either atheist or religious, doesn't matter which, is when you are so certain that you're going to tell me I'm wrong for being uncertain. That's the only way I think you're wrong. If you don't understand why a person is uncertain, you're gone too far. Either direction.
Well, Dave, you said your standard is higher when it comes to these certain things. When it comes to Bigfoot, though, your standard is lower than a lot of people.
Yeah.
You want to believe in Bigfoot.
See, I disagree. I think that I know a lot more about the Bigfoot topic. Therefore, I have taken in what I would call evidence sufficient for me to say, I think this is true.
But not to make
But
the
so
case that it is.
Don't plenty of like people who believe in God could say the same thing. Like, yeah, I study the Bible all the time. I go to church all the time.
Yeah, sure. Definitely.
Although I would say the difference, practically speaking, is one thing you're studying from 2,000 years ago that you can't have any practical new information on, versus anything else that's happening now.
And also, if I were to find out, just proof positive, there's never been any such thing as Bigfoot. It wouldn't even change my day, much less my life.
You might go,
and I wouldn't ever like get mad at Andrew, because he hasn't listened to 3,000 podcasts about Bigfoot.
Right. It's also way less consequential. You know, like those things that we are interested
Unless you're Bigfoot.
in. Like if you like, you know, when you're interested in ghost stories or Bigfoot or whatever, but like they're not typically like the core of what and who you are. Where religion is.
Yeah. And there are a lot of people.
So it's less consequential to be wrong about it.
A lot of people, and I'm not saying this to be self-deprecating, it's true. A lot of people who are just measurably way smarter than me, like the guy who decoded the genome, who believes in the Bible.
Right.
Well, I'm also smart enough to not set myself against that guy and go, what an idiot.
Right.
No.
That's why that I don't know is an okay thing, because you're just acknowledging that there are facts that you can't have access to.
Yeah.
And there are smart people that believe. There are smart people that don't believe. Trying to weigh their credentials against one another is pointless.
Yeah.
Because they all have a lot of the same types of backgrounds.
Yeah.
So
what I don't like, though, and what I like less and less, is when our government uses a belief system to try to tell the rest of us how we're going to live.
Oh, and how to divide people for political purposes.
You know, intelligent minds can argue this as well.
Yeah.
But I think that it's pretty plain to me from studying the Constitution, at least in law school, that the founding fathers felt the same way. Even if they were deists or Christians, they would have said, yeah, no, you don't.
Well, I mean, think about why did a lot of people leave where they left?
Yeah.
Because they were being persecuted for their beliefs. So when you come here, you don't want that to happen again.
And they were smart enough to say, you can't tell me that I can't worship God.
Right.
Or what God I should worship. But it only makes logical, legal sense if I extend to you that same
courtesy.
Right.
Or the same right.
Yeah.
The courthy is not the right term there.
Yeah, it works.
The same right.
Remind you guys about Mike at Michael's Baths. He is a good dude, much like Mike at Michael's Flooring, much like Ben Barnett at Timberline Tree Service. He's just one of those guys that I was, destined to be growing up where I did. I didn't know a single white-collar person. Everyone made their living with their back or their skills or with a union trade, and that's how Mike is. He's been doing construction for 30 years. About 10 years ago, he decided he wanted to focus exclusively on bathrooms. And I always give credit to Bath Fitter and 3 Day Kitchen and Bath. They've spent millions and millions of dollars nationally to plow that ground and let us, the consumers, know that, hey, you can hire a company that just does bathrooms. And that's what, Mike has ridden their coattails. But now he has surpassed them, at least locally, in that he's much better at it. He, recruits and hires and trains his own people, teaches them the right way to do it. He has all made in the USA products, and he still is able to do all of this and still give you a 30 to 50% lower price than the aforementioned national companies. Right now, he will give you a free rain shower head, or you can upgrade with safety features like grab bars or a built-in seat. 636-775-0800, michaelsbaths.com.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty. After a disaster, emotional recovery takes time. Show Me Hope, Missouri offers free, confidential support wherever you are. Call or text 1-800-985-5990 and connect with a local crisis counselor today. From Missouri Department of Mental Health.
This is the story of the one.
The one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's an old joke about Uncle Sam's new tax short form. The first line says, "How much did you make?" The next line says, "Send it in." Really? Not that funny, but that's what a lot of people do in retirement. They take money out of their 401k or IRA and end up sending it in when they pay taxes. Steve All of the All Financial Group invites you to take their tax challenge. What if your current plan included thousands of dollars in unnecessary taxes and fees? Or maybe higher Medicare premiums or a lower Social Security check? What if the savings you realized could allow you to retire early? Wouldn't you want to know about that right now? Take the All Financial Group Tax Challenge and find out. There's no charge. Call Steve today at 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Already better.
Welcome back, DGS. Playing the Tommy Two-Tone and No Resolve mashup. Pretty good.
Yeah, I'd give it. I need another percussionist somewhere, and I need another guitar, and I need a growl or two, and we're good.
Huh.
That's better though.
There's no pleasing him.
No, that's good.
Never happy.
I need 2 drum sets.
If that pops up, I'm listening to iTunes or whatever, and that pops up, I'm not turning that off.
You should listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
It gets a little more.
Yeah, I bet they have a breakdown.
Metally.
Yeah.
Cheryl Ginta online, Cheryl, I apologize if that's Ginta, has a thought I've frankly never heard. Apropos of our discussion about the creation and animals and how brutal it is, she says, I don't think animals started eating each other until man sinned. Animals eating other animals as well as humans eating animals was not part of the original plan.
I have heard this.
Have
Just
ya?
growing up like in Christian school and stuff. Yeah, like Adam and Eve were not eating steak in the Garden of Eden. They were vegan essentially. And then those floodgates kind of opened whenever the sinning started happening. And I guess snakes were like up on they had legs and stuff. They were up on their legs. And then when Satan took the form of a snake and tempted Eve, then they were smote down to crawl on their belly for the rest of time.
So you have to believe in New Earth to believe this, though.
I would think so.
Because we had millions and millions and millions of years of predatory animals eating other animals. I mean, we had dinosaurs and
we have great evidence of it, too.
And great evidence for it. And not to mention the fact that if you want to go back to the existential questions and topics we were talking about the last segment, well, then that means the plan wasn't perfect. If a human, Adam or Eve, can change the plan, well, then it wasn't perfect. Right? I mean, because that tells you an all-knowing, all-powerful being knew that they would make that decision. Because if you know everything, you know what they're going to do. Am I wrong?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you were saying. I absolutely do, but that's... I would think there's probably a minister or someone out there listening going like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
there's an argument that I don't know that, would address that.
But I mean, where's the basis for the claim?
I think Cheryl, is it Cheryl? Yeah, I think that's just what she believes.
No, I get it. I'm talking about the people that originally said this is what's happening and then passed that message along. What's the basis for the claim? Because the basis for the claim that predators have always existed is there in millions and millions of years of scientific evidence that we have studied, broken down.
So I guess it was whoever wrote, I think it was Moses that wrote Genesis. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. But, it's whoever wrote Genesis.
Cheryl says, God gave man free will, though. I get it. And Cheryl, I'm not saying I understand more than you do. I understand the basic tenets. I just can't get past the voluminous evidence. And yes,
Well, God gave us other gifts too, right?
I've listened to Ken Ham, and I've read books about why the Earth's only 6,000 years old. But the evidence that it's not 6,000 years old,
right?
And Neanderthals and Denisovans and
all these other,
I just can't get past that.
Well, and here's the thing that yes, we were given free will. We were also given the ability to apply critical thinking. We were also given the ability to process information. And we've learned science over time. And you can say all of those are God-given gifts, and there's no I won't make an argument because I don't know. But the point is, why do we focus only on the one gift and not the others? Why is it only the free will that we focus on and not on critical thought, the ability to study things and learn from the planet that we were given to live on? Like, there's so much more than just one gift that was given if you're looking at the world from that view. Why does that one then, quote, change the plan? Because if the plan was to have free will, well, then the plan was never for the original thing to last. Right?
I got to do it live. I got to tell these people about Mosby. Through July 31st, Mosby is having a sale on basements and decks. They remodel every room in the house. And in August, they'll have two other ones. And I don't know what those are going to be, but they'll be something different. But this month, if you're interested in doing your basement, and by the way, of course, we're halfway through the month. You don't have to get it done this month. Just have to come in and see us and, get on the record. If you finish your basement, we're going to give you all the flooring for free, or you can take 5% off the project. Same thing, the deck, we're going to give you all of the deck lighting for free. If you don't like your deck lit up or you're a lighting guy yourself, then you can take 5% off of that. I believe that they are the gold standard for St. Louis remodelers. They have perfect ratings everywhere. In a business where people don't usually have perfect ratings because sort of the way the whole system is set up is to disappoint people. Never going to happen with Mosby. Give them a call, 314-909-1800, or visit the website, call Mosby.com.
And Doug.
Hot dog, get your hot dog.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct, to the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn, get your popcorn.
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
In the Palm Beaches, we are truly in a league of our own, with an unbeatable collection of year-round sports on display. Take a swing at tennis or pickleball, or get a front row seat to polo, baseball, and everything in between. Then, find out why we're called Florida's golf capital, with more than 145 beautifully manicured sun-soaked courses, perfect for pros and beginners. When it comes to sports destinations, there's no competition. Curate your vacation at thepalmbeaches.com.
I love days like these at the pool, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. I'm ready to make a splash with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza. Skyrizi is a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. At 4 months, most people saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe, and many were even 100% plaque-free. People also saw significant improvement in psoriasis symptoms of pain, redness, itching, and burning.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Now there's nothing on my skin thanks to Skyrizi, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Homeowners, I know a lot of you are worried about one thing when it comes to selling, and that's leaving money on the table. Hey, this is Kevin Wheeler. I'm here with Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. So, Gloria, how do you help sellers make sure that they get top dollar?
The reality is, most homes don't sell for what they should. I see it happen all the time. They either price it wrong or they don't create enough demand. But with over 2,400 buyers in my buyers in waiting database and my exclusive pricing strategy, I'm able to offer my seller a 100% market value guarantee. And if I can get you 100% of your home's market value, I'll pay you the difference. So you don't have to wonder if you left money on the table. You can sell with confidence, knowing you maximize your sale.
Make sure you get every dollar for your home. That's why you call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
At 2:01, we've got a cloudy sky. Right now it's 91 degrees downtown Effie Arch.
KMOX is covering breaking news.
St. Louis County Police are investigating after a body was discovered near a Fenton shopping center late this morning. Officers responding to a welfare check found an adult man dead on a bluff ledge just off of Gravois Bluffs Boulevard. Investigators say it's still too early to determine how exactly the man died. St. Louis City has settled a lawsuit with one of its leaders over the actions of the police department.
In 2023, Aldermanic President Megan Green sued the city after claiming she and others were indiscriminately tear-gassed while peacefully leaving the Stockley protests. The settlement is for $35,000, which Green says she will be donating to the nonprofit Invest STL. Green says the goal of the donation is so the settlement can be reinvested in St. Louis and benefit residents. In a statement, the St. Louis City Police Department says they stand by the men and women who risked their lives to serve St. Louis, adding the settlement should, quote, not diminish the bravery, sacrifice, and professionalism of the officers who faced life-threatening violence that night, close quote. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
And the union, the Police Officers Association, is also slamming the payout. The union released a statement calling it a backroom deal, saying it is, quote, profoundly confusing for the city to hand tax dollars to the president of the Board of Aldermen during a supposed budget crisis. From ABC News, another day of strikes between the U.S. and Iran brings the return of a U.S. blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump is reinstating the closure due to Iranian attacks there in the Gulf. Here's ABC's Christiane Cordero.
This is the fourth consecutive day of back-and-forth airstrikes between the U.S. and Iran. We've seen it progressively escalate, both sides really, and mostly concentrated from the U.S. side on port cities around the Strait of Hormuz.
New York has just enacted the nation's first statewide moratorium on data centers. Governor Kathy Hochul.
And I announced this in my State of the State long before campaign season that I want these huge consumers of power to pay their own way. It's only fair, and that's what I'm fighting for.
St. Charles County Council members unanimously approved a 6-month moratorium on new data centers last night after hearing public opposition. Neighbor John Mangles.
I don't understand why people keep trying when we, the people, have said we don't want data centers in our city or our county.
The council also unanimously approved changes to the county's senior property tax relief program. They removed the requirement that seniors have to renew their application every year. The Dow from Stiefel up 5 points to 52,503.
We continue with a nice break from hardcore summer and hardcore thunderstorms. Sunny skies going through our Tuesday afternoon. Still pretty comfortable. 89, 90 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. Nice evening, especially once that sun goes down as our days get shorter, 72. Wednesday, sunny skies, a slow increase in the humidity Wednesday afternoon, 91. Thursday and Friday, feeling a little more like summer, though nothing extreme. It's sunny, it's kind of hot and humid, 93 each day, and nothing more than a spot afternoon thunderstorm Thursday and again on Friday. Very tough to find. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sponsored by Scott Credit Union. We've got sunshine right now. It's 91 degrees. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Think buying a home is out of reach? Think again. Scott Credit Union has down payment options as low as zero money down. Your new home could be closer than you think. Visit scu.org today. Equal housing lender, NMLS 415767. Terms and conditions apply.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. We have Jason Law, who is in studio. Jason is running for St. Charles County Executive. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
How are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah. So
3 more weeks.
3 weeks, right?
3 weeks from today.
Yeah. So let's go all the way back. Let's assume that no one knows who you are, and just introduce yourself to the KMOX audience, and just kind of give us your background.
You know, my name's Jason Law. I'm a lieutenant colonel with one of the largest police departments in our region. But I grew up in North St. Louis County.
Where'd you grow up?
Florissant.
Yeah.
So
St. Sabina area?
Oh, I was Sacred Heart.
Okay.
But I wasn't far from Sabina area.
Yeah.
Down there, was it Shackleford?
That's where all the good people are from.
Yes, it is. Yes, we got a lot of them in St. Charles
You
County.
sure do, yeah.
So it's kind of exciting, and that's kind of one of the reasons I'm running. And you'll see that, you know, I'm pretty fair guy. I try to be honest. I'm not a career politician.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've worked 28 years in the police department, and
wasn't that enough abuse for you?
I'm still there. I'm on a vacation day today to be with you.
You've had a hard life, man. You've had a hard career already.
But it's, you know, my family's all about serving. My dad's a retired policeman. My brother's a retired policeman. My little sister worked in the police department.
Yeah.
You know, so it's in our blood to serve.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you. And I wanted to serve in a different way, so I ran for mayor in the city of Lake St. Louis. Won, and over that 4 years, we cut property taxes by 46% by paying debt off early, becoming a debt-free city.
Yeah.
And then we cut crime by 45% over 4 years, becoming the top 10 safest city in the state of Missouri. And, you know, I saw that we could do that for all of St. Charles County. Try to, you know, cut the tax burden, try to cut crime, and, you know, keep St. Charles County moving in a great way.
Mm-hmm. I'm always intrigued by all the different things I've done in my life and all the different phases I've had, law school and this and that, how when you get somewhere and you thought it was going to be like this, but it's actually like that. When you were elected mayor and you got into politics, how was the whole machine different than you thought it would be?
Well, I thought as a councilman in the city of Lake St. Louis first that, you know, I could automatically change things.
Yeah.
And you learn pretty quick if you don't work with the people that you're with.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot done, and that's what makes me different. I work well with everybody in the entire region and everybody in St. Charles County, and I think we can get a lot done.
Yeah. So Steve Elman, who's a friend of the show, he's on all the time. Bill Eigel, who I know, he's been on the show a few times, and they're very different, as you know, right?
Yeah.
Where, if you know, one's a 1 and one's a 10, like where are you on the scale between those guys, or are you in between those guys?
I'm definitely more conservative than Steve.
Mm-hmm.
I respect Steve, but you know, if you look at the municipal election, 82% of incumbents got beat in St. Charles County, and we've knocked on over 7,000 doors up to this point. We're going to hit 20,000 by the time it's go time. But it's people want change. And when we go to the doors, people want change. They don't want a career politician anymore. Not that Steve's done a bad job, but he's unretired twice, you know, and it's just time for change.
Yeah.
When you say you're more conservative than Steve on a policy level, what does that mean?
And in terms of taxes, police, you know, I belong to ICD Catholic Church. I'm a conservative Catholic, that type.
What am I trying to get at? So the city has always been the problem, city of St. Louis, and then the St. Louis County got wiggy, right? And now it's all this, you know, infighting and stuff. And from having Elman and guys like that on the show, I know that it's now kind of infiltrated St. Charles, where I've always thought of St. Charles as being pretty idyllic. And, you know, doing the right thing, doing well, and fastest growing in Missouri and all that kind of stuff. Where are the quote-unquote problems coming from? How did they arise? And what are they?
Well, you know, St. Charles County is a lot different than St. Louis City. You know, in my experience, I've worked with all of the leaders in this entire region. St. Charles County overall is in a good place. Taxes are way too high. You know, we need to work on some crime things so that doesn't, you know, go away, you know, in terms of we can't be stagnant with policing. You always have to be on top of it. And if you don't, it doesn't take long for it to get out of control.
Yeah.
It can happen really quick, and we saw that during COVID in St. Charles City where crime spiked.
Yeah.
Right? And so some of the police chiefs got together and made a task force, and it helped to drive that down. But we need to make something more regular in St. Charles County, a more robust response to crime coming into St. Charles County.
Yeah, I was going to ask, and I promise this is not a setup question, but being in law enforcement, as long as you have been in St. Charles County, are most of the criminals St. Charlesians, or most of them coming in from other places?
I think a majority of them come in. If you look at the jail population, I think it's around 70% that are outside St. Charles County, and another 30%. You're never going to be able to eliminate crime. I pretty well know that.
Yeah.
But you can do things to prevent some crime, and we just need to, you know, do that in those certain ways.
Yeah.
I live in St. Charles County, so obviously I chose that for a reason when I moved here. We moved here 19, 20 years ago, and we specifically targeted it because taxes were lower than St. Louis County. Schools were good. We're in the Zumwalt district, so it was a really good district. So in that scale of, and not just taxes, but in that scale of things that could change, where is the room to maintain or improve services while also dropping those things?
So like in the city of Lake St. Louis, I cut taxes by paying off debt. We need to eliminate as much debt as you can. And that's a way to do it.
And I'm unfamiliar. This is not a gotcha. I just don't know.
No.
How do you do that? Like, what's the step to doing that? You have to do that before you reduce taxes? Is that how that works?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to do that before.
Gotcha.
And then I didn't cut any services. What I did was we made sure we invested millions of dollars into the police department, and we put 33% more police on the streets. And that's how we got that 45% cut over 4 years.
Right.
We are
Supporting
talking
those guys.
to Jason Law. Jason is running for St. Charles County Executive against Steve Ellman and Bill Eigel. So I want to get to Bill in a second, but let's stick with Steve. What are some of the policies, ideas that Steve either has shown that he's in favor of that you disagree, or things he's talking about in the campaign where you say that's the wrong direction for St. Charles?
Well, for example, in 2022, I did a moratorium on apartment buildings, right? The growth was coming in so fast, the infrastructure couldn't handle it. Schools were getting overcrowded. So we needed to do something about it. So during that moratorium, I lowered density. And Steve told me that wasn't a very smart move. And now because of the election cycle we're in, they just passed a moratorium. So some of those policies on growth and how we achieve the best we can is making sure that we have smart growth, that we're making sure the infrastructure, the roads, the police can handle all of this, the fire department. The schools would come to us. They would build, 500-unit apartment complex next to the school in Lake St. Louis and extend it. Well, now the kids are overcrowded in the school. What do you got to do? You got to go out for bonds. And those bonds go to your taxpayers. So we need to make sure we're watching what we're doing.
Does the added taxes from the 500 apartment people not counteract that?
No, it does not. It's a lot less.
Wow, interesting.
It's about that half of a normal single house payer.
Oh,
so I was good. Yeah, good. That was going to be my follow up. Is would it be different if it was like 500 new homes as opposed to that? Yeah.
It would be different and much different. I mean, then they're paying their normal taxes, and we could afford.
Yeah. How big a deal? Data centers are a big deal now. Just for talk show hosts.
Yeah.
How big a deal is it in St. Charles?
I think it's a big deal, and it came up in the debates. And I grew up in North St. Louis County. I grew up on Coldwater Creek. I'm a cancer survivor. My girlfriend of the time had the same cancer. Her dad died of complications from that cancer.
Yeah.
I am not scared of the future with data centers, but what we need to do is make sure that we're not giving corporate handouts, that Google is paying their own energy cost, and that the environment is pristine so we don't hurt our kids and grandkids.
Yeah. So I don't know Bill as well as I know Steve, obviously. He's always been kind to me. He seems very Trumpian to me, I think on purpose. just kind of as a guy, I'm not looking for you to crap on him, but just as a guy, how you relate to him. What's your view of Bill Eigel?
Well, Bill has a different style of politics. You know, he's not going to work with people. He's going to work against people. And I'm completely different. I can be conservative and still talk to whoever I need to get things done. And I don't think Bill has that in his toolbox.
How, same question I had about Steve Ellman. What are the policies or the things that priorities for Bill Eigel where you guys differ?
So for me is what you can do as county executive. You need to have a strong leader. You're the highest elected local official in St. Charles County. And he'll just tell you, I can't do anything about these apartments. They're in municipalities. Well, my campaign over the last 2 years, we've ran candidates in other cities that put those moratoriums in place.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes leadership. If you look at Dardenne Prairie, I helped Keith Weideman get elected as the mayor. Day one, he does a 12-month moratorium. I ran people in O'Fallon. What are they doing? They're doing a moratorium on apartments. These are things that Steve could be doing instead of just sitting back.
Yeah. What about the people who will say, oh, Jason's going to screw the whole thing up because he's going to take votes from Steve and Bill Eigel's going to get in there and, dystopian?
Well, I think it's Steve that screwed it up. He unretired. I went to him before. I said, hey, Steve, if you're not going to run, then I'm going to put my hat in the race. So I started campaigning for about a year and a half, and then he decides to unretire. I understand that's his choice, but it's not me messing this up.
Do a little live endorsement for yourself as we finish up here. Just let people know, St. Charlesians, why they should come out in 3 weeks and cast a vote for you.
I do what I say and I say what I do. I'm not a career politician. As a part-time mayor, I cut taxes by 46% by paying off debt early, becoming a debt-free city. We cut crime by 45% by putting more police on the streets and becoming the top 10 safest city in the state of Missouri. And we cut bureaucracies in the permitting process that allowed $500 million in private investment, bringing new jobs to Lake St. Louis. That's what I want to do for all of St. Charles County, and I'm not a career politician.
Well, win, lose, or draw, you seem like a good, solid guy. Thank you for your service and your family service, and you guys are welcome back here anytime.
Thank you so much for having me.
Very
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
That's
Thank you.
Jason Law. Quick break, right back.
The Second World War is the largest event in human history.
A 20-part series with Tom Hanks.
No part of the globe was untouched. No life unchanged.
Experience the ultimate account of World War II.
Every single person had a story. These are the stories that make us who we are.
Listen to World War II with Tom Hanks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Last year, I had back pain radiating down my right leg. The pain was so bad I was willing to cut my leg off to stop the pain. I could barely walk and had to stoop over when I did just to take pressure off the spine. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In my professional career, I've represented thousands of people who've had herniated discs and issues with their neck and back, but never fully appreciated what they were going through until it was my turn. It's like trying to describe colors to a blind person who's never had sight. All I can tell you is, It hurt like hell, but worse. My daily walk was gone, and that bothered me a great deal. Then I thought of all of you and how much more devastating my life stopped. I do. My life stopped. I now feel your pain. Just know at Morgan & Morgan, we got your back. I understand. Morgan means more.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
So the way I view my live endorsements, just in case you care, is that I never expect to do a live endorsement and have anyone go, oh, my God, I have to pull the car over and call Universal Windows Direct. I do these all the time, and the reason they do them consistently, usually 3 a week, sometimes 5 a week, is because life changes. And so, like, for example, right now, I don't need replacement windows. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I might need them, driving around, listening to someone else's radio show, and they go, oh, you need to go to Bob's Windows. And I go, oh, Bob sounds like a good guy. That's what I'm doing. So when that time comes, when you or someone who you have some influence over needs replacement windows, you have lots of companies to choose from. They're all advertising on television. We all see them every single night. I picked Universal Windows Direct. I think they're solid. I think they're simple. They have great windows, great guarantees, great warranties, and great deals. They change the deal, a few times a year. Right now, you buy 4 windows, you get 4 for free. 48 months, 0% interest financing, same as cash. 314-334-2522 or universalwindowsdirect.com.
You work hard, follow the rules, and get absolutely slammed by taxes. Your paycheck taxed. Your property taxed. Everything you buy taxed. Missouri's tax system isn't broken, it's rigged against you. The lawyers and lobbyists working for big corporations and the super rich buried over 200 loopholes for themselves in our tax code. While they pay nothing on the services they use, working families are taxed over and over. It's no wonder they're lying about Amendment 5. Our corrupt tax system is rigged in their favor. They're getting a free ride on your back. Don't believe their lies. The truth is, Amendment 5 closes loopholes exploited by the super rich and slashes taxes paid by Missouri's working families, phasing out income taxes and cutting property taxes. They finally pay what they owe while you keep what you earn. Vote yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC.
Looking for a career change? Well, the Gelman team with eXp Realty is hiring. Their unmatched blueprint to success, real support, and proven systems help agents take their business to the next level. Level up your future and earning potential. Take the first step at thegelmanteam.com.
Retirement. Exciting in one way, scary in others. How do you find the financial advisor that covers all the bases? Join Greg Ayler Saturdays at 1 on Fire Your Financial Advisor.
100 years, one legendary voice. Relive KMOX's century of service, classic audio, photos, videos, and more at KMOX100.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 223. We have Nate Gatter coming up at 3 p.m. Be talking some Cardinals baseball. It'll be impossible to keep Gatter from talking about World Cup. So we'll talk about that as well.
Well, there is a big match going on right now.
I know. Yeah, I'm watching it over your head.
I don't want to play spoiler. I guess maybe this is one we should, now that we're so late, we should probably be careful of spoiling anything.
I don't follow.
The diehard soccer fans maybe saving it for later will be upset.
Sure.
As opposed to earlier round matchups or whatever.
Gotcha. Yeah. Did you make enough money on your bet last night?
That was good.
Retire?
No, I don't play. I don't play at that level when I'm betting, and I certainly wouldn't do that on a home run derby. But I did have Jordan Walker to win it, and I had I had the combination of Walker and Schwarber in the finals as a separate little wager. Mm-hmm. They weren't the only ones I made. I made other ones, but I set it up so that if the person, I had 3 people to win it, different people, and if any one of them won it, I came out ahead the way I set it up. And then that second one with the perfect finals matchup, that just pushed it over the top.
You're a thinker.
I try to, because you're not doing this like mindlessly. If you're doing it right, you're doing it like with a plan and an idea of what you're trying to achieve.
I do it mindlessly.
Yeah. Well, look, that's the difference between getting a gambling problem and playing it like a game. I play it more like a fantasy sport than I do like trying to make money. It's more the challenge of, can I take what I have and grow it with strategy versus I just want action.
So let's say you won $100 last night.
Yeah.
Is the joy of winning $100, how does that compare to the emotion if you had lost $100?
To me, it's the same because I'm playing it the same way. I don't get that invested in any single day or thing.
Andrew, why do I ask him questions?
Well, look.
Reminder: Kevin always has complete control over his reactions and emotions.
To this, I do because this is something you take time to do.
But you're always reasonable.
Well, in these kinds of things, yes, not all the time. But
what
in
are
this
you
type
unreasonable
of thing,
about?
I mean, like my little outbursts, screaming at video
That's
games.
what we're calling them now, Rach.
Yelling at people in my car, that kind of thing. Like that's the opposite of it.
Rach, tell me about the pervy meta glasses.
Oh, man. Have you guys seen these? The
Oh,
meta
yeah.
glasses?
No.
Only cursory.
Yes.
Well, now Kylie Jenner is hawking them. She's hawking like a cute version. You look so stylish as you wear these glasses that record everyone around you. And people are becoming hip to the meta glasses and going like, hey, I see you're wearing the meta glasses and you're recording as we're having this conversation in this bar right now. You need to get out of here. We don't want to hang out with you. And now, like, people are getting so good at spotting them and calling out the behavior that people are just starting to leave their meta glasses at home.
Okay, I have a question.
Does the light come on or something? Does it show you?
There is a tiny red light that is recording.
Okay, here's my question. The people who invented these things are clearly brilliant people. Do you think that when they invented them, let's say 5 years ago, they just had no way of figuring out that in 5 years you're going to be a pariah? Because that makes perfect sense to me.
I think they don't care. I think they don't care unless, like, all they care about is selling the product. And I apologize. It's actually a flashing white LED light, not a red light. But I think the problem with technology like this is just because you can make it doesn't mean you should and doesn't mean it's going to be applied practically. So either all of society is just going to have to presume that they are being recorded at all times, or we don't like this kind of thing, or we have an expectation of privacy. Now, right now, if you're in public and someone has their phone out recording, there's not much you can do about it.
And you may not even really clock it because you could just be like looking at your phone like you're looking at it, but your camera's running,
but
right?
at least you can see like that
There's a
person
phone
has
out.
their phone up.
Right.
There's a possibility that they have their camera going. With the glasses, it is easier to trick folks if they don't know what to look for. And it's just skeevy and wrong to be recording in that intimate of a way. So yeah, normal people are getting wind of it and going like, yeah, don't wear that around here. We're trying to hang out and have a good time and you're ruining it.
J-Dub says, I always assume that I'm being recorded in public 24/7 now.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think about it that much.
No, but you know it.
But you know it.
Because every place has security cameras. You're walking down the street, it's a Ring camera tracking you to a bank camera. Like that part. And that's why I have less of an issue with it when you're in a restaurant, you're in a store or whatever. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I think it's, as Rach said, I think it's pretty creepy to just be walking around recording everything around you all the time. But people are doing that on their phones. They've got GoPros on their cars and bikes. They're wearing them on their bodies sometimes if they're cycling or they're motorcycling or whatever. I think it's different when you're going into someone's home. I think it's different when you're going into a private setting, maybe sitting at a table with other people and not letting them know, hey, these are recording. Because then you don't want to get things off that are supposed to be off the record on the record, if you know what I mean.
Do you guys know anyone in your life who talks more S with their friends than me? Like if my friends,
all of my friends, we all do that.
If my friends started recording, I'm sunk.
All the people I know, we all do that.
Who's been talking about St. Louis sports since 1985? Bernie Miklasz.
One thing I can absolutely swear to about Ali Marmol, Ali welcomes being challenged. You're a fan and there's something that he does that bugs you, tell it to him directly. You don't have to hide behind some stupid name. You don't have to be a coward. Just ask him directly.
Bernie Miklasz. Hear what he has to say on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, We're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Here's Steve Murray's weather forecast, sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today, now offering 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com.
We continue with a nice break from hardcore summer and hardcore thunderstorms. Sunny skies going through our Tuesday afternoon. Still pretty comfortable, 89, 90 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. Nice evening, especially once that sun goes down as our days get shorter, 72. Wednesday, sunny skies, a slow increase in the humidity Wednesday afternoon, 91. Thursday and Friday, feeling a little more like summer, though nothing extreme. It's sunny, it's kind of hot and humid, 93 each day, and nothing more than a spot afternoon thunderstorm Thursday and again on Friday. Very tough to find. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
What has your candidate actually delivered? In Clayton, Ladue, Olivet, and Warson Woods, there's just one Democrat running for state representative who can answer. That's Sidney Clark. As mayor, he's delivered more than $100 million in economic growth and some of the strongest home values in the region. Balanced budgets, steady leadership, a neighbor since 1973. And now, Sidney Clark will protect what you've built, stopping costly data centers from hiking your utility bills, and voting no on Amendment 5, which actually increases taxes on everything you buy. No other candidate in this race can say it. Sidney Clark has already done the job, and he's ready from day one. Sidney Clark, results, not rhetoric. Democrat for State Representative District 99.
I'm Sidney Clark, and I approve of this message. Paid for by Sidney Clark for State Representative District 99. Tammy Clark, Treasurer.
Your health story is shaped by more than genetics. Everyday choices like nutrition, physical activity, sleep, tobacco use, and routine screenings all play a role in your future health. Seidman Cancer Center's Your Disease Risk helps you understand how family history and lifestyle work together, offering personalized insights to support healthier decisions. Knowing your risks today can help protect your tomorrow. Visit Seidman.washU.edu/YDR.
Cardinals fans, this is Ricky Horton. Have you ever had a dream of meeting your favorite former Cardinals? You can make those dreams come true all season long with St. Louis Cardinals alumni experiences. You can join me and other former Cardinals players at events including Cardinals Conversations, Fans at Bat, Turn 2 with Ozzie, Cardinals Kids Clinics, and Cardinals Fantasy Camps. Don't miss your chance to make lifelong memories. Visit cardinals.com/alumni for more information.
If you're craving baseball conversations about your favorite players, alumni, and franchise memories, you'll love that Cardinals Magazine is dedicated to the stories that matter most to you. From Gold Gloves to championship rings, from the Wizard and Willie to Albert, Yachty, Uncle Charlie, and well beyond. Their careers define our pages. Treat yourself or a friend to a subscription today at cardinals.com/magazine. Cardinals Magazine, past, present, and future, it's all here.
Thursday night, it's City Soccer on KMOX. First up, Gen C's hosts a special soccer edition of Sports Open Line beginning at 6 from Energizer Park. Then, it's City SC facing Sporting KC. Pre-game 7:05, kick at 7:30. City Soccer on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back. DGS on KMOX 234. Active stream today. You guys can watch on YouTube or Facebook. And we put on quite a show, I must say. We are very demonstrative, and we dance on the breaks.
That's mostly Andrew dancing.
Pretty great. Michael Dean says, absolutely love the DGS. I've got my headphones on at 6 a.m. on KMOX, and I don't turn it off until I have to drive the highway to hell, 270 South, you all rock. Michael, you need to get one of them there ratings meters. That's what you need.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
You got to apply.
Let's talk. Someone, the stream's too active. I've lost who it was, but someone said, hey, how about some baseball talk? Coming up, 3 p.m. We talked about it at the 1 o'clock. We'll talk about it at 3 p.m. Wheels does a show, Redbird Rush Hour at 5. So, yeah, plenty of baseball talk coming up on KMOX. Let's talk a little bit of politics. And this is, look, everyone knows I don't like Trump. And so this is going to go badly for Trump for the next 8 minutes. But I never mind you guys pushing back on stream. If I say something that's incorrect, like when I said that Denisovans were 8 feet tall and Wheeler said they're 5 feet tall, I admitted I was wrong. You have to give me that. I always admit when I'm wrong. But the reflecting pool, which shouldn't have been an issue at all. But, of course, the president made it one. And when, it started flaking off, it was vandalism. And there's a 300-foot gash cut down it. And they've arrested at least 5 people, maybe 10, one of them a former Olympian, for vandalism, charged with a felony, indicted in federal court, the whole bit. And there were these memes, I don't know if you guys saw them, over the last few weeks that would show President Trump and his entourage driving down the newly resurfaced pool area. And people were saying, we found the vandals, right? Haha, I get it. Well, they drained it. And so far, they've not found even a 6-inch gash, much less 300-foot gash. But what they did find are lots of tire tracks.
Yeah.
From when?
Guess what happened?
When the president drove or rode in his 10,000-pound beast, that seems to have sort of dicked up the old pool. So that's, I'm not taking glee in it, but it's okay, once again, that wasn't true.
But I mean, the people who were installing this lining said as it was being installed and before that you could not cut this with a knife. And you're going to tell me that somebody through the water traipsed around for how many hours?
Right.
To make a 300 – it's 3 football fields. A 300-foot slash across it?
It's a big slash.
I'm sorry, 300-yard slash.
What's a yard?
Yeah, it's 300 yards. It's 3 football fields long. Who was in there for that long without anybody noticing?
Yeah.
It's just – that's why I hate – it's fine to try to blame something on, but there would be evidence of that. There would be video evidence. There would be somebody in that damn thing for hours doing that.
Yeah, they'd be real tired.
Yeah.
Also, the president has said that he is going to, I guess, at least try to charge the oil tankers coming through the Strait of Hormuz a 20% fee. So if they're carrying $1 billion worth of stuff, we would get 20% of $1 billion. And so here's, let's do cut 1, Rage.
They are crazy, and we're not going to put it up. Yeah, I want to be reimbursed because we're protecting a very rich portion of the world. We're spending money. And so what we've done is we are going to be reimbursed for protection. We're protecting by the countries that we're helping. For instance, you look at the 5 countries. You have Saudi Arabia, you have UAE, you have Qatar, or Qatar as I always say, you have Qatar, Bahrain, and by the way, you have others. You have Kuwait, and you have others, and they will do very well. But we think it's appropriate that we don't need them. We have more oil than any other country in the world. When you add Venezuela, which has been amazing, which has tremendous amounts of oil that we control.
He just kind of goes on and on about that. And then this is Secretary of State Marco Rubio in cut 2 giving his opinion on this.
Well, that's the law. It's an international waterway. No country is allowed to charge tolls or fees on an international waterway. That's existing international law. That's the way it is in international waterways all over the world, and that's the way we expect it'll be here. So I don't think we have anybody to convince around here in that regard. I think all the countries in this region would agree with it.
And I'm going to toot my own horn here just a little bit. You guys may remember if you listen to the show all the time. About a month ago, I did a little rant. I was going to have Andrew find it, but that seemed pretty narcissistic. But I basically said, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you guys what's going to happen. And I said, Trump's going to get bored, and he's not going to be effective, and he won't be able to bomb his way out of this. And he's going to say, let's just go back to business as usual. And I also predicted that he would leave the nuclear materials. And I have some of that sound, but I'll just tell you what he said. You guys can look it up if you want. But he said, I don't like Iran. I don't trust them. They're bad people. And I think we should just go back to business as usual. That was his exact term of art.
Yeah, he did make the case. Again, I don't know that this is true or that anybody else has backed it up. He was saying that, well, now the nuclear material is so far underground that they don't have the ability to reach it. Only we could. We are the only country that could reach it.
Which is exactly what I said he would do.
Right.
That he would say, like, oh, it's so far under that mountain.
Then why did we need to do any of those other things?
Yeah.
And then, by the way, the story did change today on this.
How so?
So apparently they're dropping the idea of the 20% surcharge. And now they're saying that here, I'll just read the quote. Said, and this is Trump's quote. Said, I was called by different people, different countries, kings and emirs, and they said, we'd love to do it a different way. We'd love to invest in the United States with billions and billions of dollars. So instead of it a surcharge, I guess it would be the rich countries in that area that he was listing there, probably the ones he heard from, and probably telling him, sir, that's illegal. You can't do that.
Yeah.
But there's a different way to do this.
Yeah. Might have got another plane.
And I'm sure they're trying to curry favor, right? I mean, to countries that have wealth, spending some of that wealth for goodwill with the United States is probably not a terrible idea.
And then, not tomorrow, Thursday evening, the president will be addressing the nation. And do you guys know what he's talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Still an election, right?
Election
he's
security.
Going to be talking to the United States of America about the 2020 election, how it was stolen. And the information I'm seeing on the news, may be wrong, is that he's going to basically say that Senators Ossoff and Warnock from Georgia are not properly seated senators because Georgia was full of corruption and they were elected wrongfully and they should not have their Senate seats.
Well, I can't wait to see the receipts.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting.
It's kind of like the conversation we had earlier. If you can show people evidence, like actual real evidence, present it in court and do something legally about it. Don't just tell tall tales in advance of an election, right? I mean, you run the government. You have all of those things at your disposal. If you have the evidence, have your attorney general, have your legal people take it to court and pursue it. Because that's what we do in the United States.
Yeah.
We're a nation of laws. If somebody broke the law and you have the evidence they broke the law, you follow it to court, you prosecute the case, and the judge and the jury decide, were you right or wrong?
Also, of note, 2 more people killed by ICE, and the setups don't look great for ICE, and they have decided to do a moratorium on almost all car stops by ICE. Basically, I think admitting that ICE agents, while they may be very qualified at some things, they're not law enforcement. They're not trained for car stops, and they're going pretty bad. So,
because you don't have people properly trained to do it. First of all, I've seen many law enforcement experts for a couple of years now criticizing the lack of training, the lack of technique, the inability to do things the way the actual law enforcement people are trained to do them. Because they had to cut the training short to hire a bunch of people in a short amount of time, so they didn't get the full training that you're supposed to get to do those jobs.
Yeah. Rach, any thoughts on any of that?
I mean, it's just exhausting as usual. It's like, what's going to be the avalanche of news stories next week?
God, you're so right.
Yep.
Because they will be there. There will be something.
Yeah, one thing I'm
He'll
not
outlaw
certain of,
radishes.
Right, I'm not certain of much in this lifetime, but I am certain that the news cycle will carry on.
Yes, so true. Let me tell you guys about some good friends of mine at Bethesda Health. And Bethesda it's a corporation. It's nonprofit, which I think is important. But it's hundreds and hundreds of people. And I know a lot of the uppers and the muckety mucks and the CEO and such. And I judge them to be very good people. And they took great care of my mom when she fell on opening day of 2024. She died about 5 months later. She had been at Bethesda Dilworth, skilled nursing and hospice, which is where I do my hospice work now with No One Dies Alone, in honor of my mom because she passed away at 3:30 in the morning with someone from No One Dies Alone. So that was important to me. My point is, I know them. So if you are my age or a little older and you are tired of housework and yard work and all that kind of stuff, and you would just like to check out an independent living apartment, I've seen all 7 of them. They're gorgeous. I promise you this is true. I would move into any one of them right now and live perfectly happily. Or if it's your mom or dad, grandma, grandpa, who probably needs something more than independent living, maybe it's assisted living. Maybe it's skilled nursing. Maybe it's hospice, maybe it's memory care. We can do any of those things and do it very, very well for you. My friend Michelle has been at Bethesda for 31 years, and she knows everything about elder care, and you can access her with the Contact Us button. Go to BethesdaHealth.org, hit the Contact Us button, put in your name, let them know you're from the DGS. You'd like to talk to Michelle, and Michelle will get back with you.
For men over 50, staying healthy shouldn't feel complicated. Neovitin Men's 50 Plus is a doctor-formulated daily multivitamin designed to support everyday wellness with just 2 tablets a day. You can subscribe at neovitin.com for convenient monthly delivery right to your door, or find Neovitin Men's 50 Plus at your local Deerbergs or Schnucks. All Neovitin vitamins are manufactured in a GMP-certified facility in the USA and are designed for real, everyday routines. Make nutrition easy with Neovitin Men's 50 Plus.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
I'm Dr. Colleen Bosler with the Audiology Center, and I'm talking with my associate, Dr. Adam Voss. What happens to a person's brain when they ignore their hearing loss?
There is such a strong connection between the ear and the brain. Ignoring your hearing loss can cause the brain to become lazy and the speech areas in the brain to shrink. This is partially why you can hear the words, but you cannot understand them. If a hearing loss goes untreated for too long, it may cause an irreversible change in the brain. It is incredibly important to have your hearing screened at 60 or older, or sooner if you're noticing difficulty. And the sooner someone treats their hearing loss, the better and quicker their brain will adapt to hearing sound again. Studies show that those who get hearing aids, even with a mild hearing loss, are much more successful hearing aid users as compared to those that wait longer.
So call us today to get your comprehensive hearing evaluation with one of our doctors. 636-441-7470, or visit us online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Welcome back to 48 DGS. Nate Gatter is going to be here at 3 p.m. We'll talk about the Cardinals primarily, but all things sports. Rach, you had me at Neanderthal babies.
What?
Yeah, they're built different.
Bet they're stocky.
They are stocky. Well, they were stocky. I guess there's not so many of these little Neanderthal babies floating around nowadays. But apparently, When they reached 6 months old, they were already the size of a little Homo sapien toddler.
Really?
Wow.
So
Yeah,
they
they're
were
big.
when they were like 6 months old. They were like a 2-year-old would be now.
Like 18-ish.
Okay,
months.
that's still
Let's not
pretty
go
crazy.
But
Oh.
yeah, they were big, and
They probably had to be to survive.
and then I'm not exactly sure when babies start to get their little teeth, but the Neanderthal babies, it's like 6 months old. Little teeth come in.
Some babies are early like that now.
Yeah.
But usually it's longer than that. I was pretty early, I think, with teeth.
Are we one of the most vulnerable species when we're born?
Yeah.
We do definitely stay like some animals are born and they can like run the next day.
Mhm.
I have a cousin like that.
We can't even move for months.
Yeah, and like think about the what's the top of the head called? Like the
Fontanelle.
Yeah, the fontanelle. We're not fully cooked whenever we come out because
Yeah.
otherwise women wouldn't be able to have the baby.
So-
like the baby would be too big to get out of there.
You know my call of the void where I want to throw my phone off a ledge. When my niece Tammy was born, I was 6. And they brought her home and they put her in my arms and very sweet. And then my mom and dad were like, listen, there's the top of her head has no bones. And if you touch it, she will die today.
Yeah.
And the call void, I'm just like, oh my God, how am I not going to stick my thumb in this thing? Like the guy with the pie, you know, the pull out a plum.
Yeah.
And the little Neanderthal babies, they were big but not necessarily chubby. So stocky is the perfect word.
All right.
Wheels.
Oh,
There's big
they're
little
like,
babies.
they look like me.
Yeah, little baby wheelers.
They're like, let's go.
No, I mean like me now because I'm short.
Rach, I think I now know why they went extinct.
Yeah.
Why we killed them. They just wouldn't shut up.
Yeah.
All those Neanderthal babies running around talking. They're like, these guys got to go.
We're all like, let's go.
They got to go.
Whatever Blowborg used to say instead of let's go.
We talked about the guy I saw last night who was a psychopath. Now, interesting it was, I also saw an interview with a guy who legit had amnesia. And he had it for 18 months. And then his memory slowly came back. But when asked what it was like, he said, I was in the hospital and I woke up and my family was there. My parents were there. And once it was explained to me that this is your mom and dad, this is your wife, these are your kids, I said to them, his name was Eric. I said to them, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but Eric is dead. And he said in his mind, that's how it felt.
Okay.
That the person he was before had literally died.
Wow.
And left behind this new person. Can you imagine?
Well, it's like a reset.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, imagine deleting a huge portion of your life from your mind. I mean, you would be a different person.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys heard about Katie Couric's recent diagnosis?
Yeah, temporary amnesia.
Yeah, well, okay, so she suddenly lost several hours of memory, and at first they thought she had a stroke, but it turns out she has transient global amnesia. So she's basically, as of right now, or at the time of announcing the story, unable to form new memories.
Wow.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, I mean, it sounds like kind of...
So
not
it's all
reverse
short-term
amnesia.
memory loss. Yeah.
Right. Like, she knows she's Katie Couric, and she did the Today Show for years.
But she didn't know what happened yesterday.
Right. So, very,
Damn.
very interesting stuff. And we wish her the best, obviously, but that's super
I
scary.
watched a documentary once on amnesia. It was called 50 First Dates. And, okay, that joke didn't land.
I was over here chuckling.
I
Like, it doesn't even matter to
I
you.
low-key
that
liked that.
chuckled.
I liked that movie.
I love that movie. It's nice.
Never seen it.
What a shock.
Yeah, I know.
Never seen it.
Never going to see it.
I actually like a lot more Adam Sandler movies than I ever thought I did.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you never see it, Kevin?
It just doesn't look entertaining.
Why? Because it's got Drew Barrymore in it, and she's a girl.
Yup.
No, because she's Drew
People
Barrymore.
kiss.
Yeah, no.
Have you ever seen Click?
Which one's that?
When he has the remote. and
Oh,
he can
you'd
pause
know.
and-
Never saw that one.
You ever seen E.T.?
E.T. I saw.
She was great in that.
Yeah, she's a little child.
So you like
Friendly,
you
happy.
Like, you like baby Drew Barrymore.
Well, she was just a child. She hadn't grown all these weird habits that make you go, what's wrong with her?
What's her habits?
You've seen the Drew Barrymore show.
No, that's fair.
She's
not
kind of a
like that in
weirdo,
movies.
but she's not a weirdo in
she's
movies.
She's not a bad person.
She's
just
a
a
delight
weirdo.
in 50 First Dates.
Okay.
That's like peak Drew Barrymore, actually.
Man, I'm just
She's
going to watch
adorable.
more episodes of Reacher.
I swear you're doing a bit. You're the Andy Kaufman
I'm dead serious.
of the Dave Glover show.
When the new season...
Just going to watch something about Dragon.
I mean, Reacher is going to drop here soon for a new season. I'm going to be all over that. Big dumb guy beating up other dumb guys. Well, he's not a dumb guy. Big smart guy beating up dumb guys.
Can't wait for it to drop.
Is that
So
John
great.
Krasinski?
No, he's doing the Jack Ryan shows.
Oh, those are different shows.
No, this is the big... the new Reacher guy is that big muscle dude who beat up a guy that knocked him off his motorcycle.
What, are you implying that there's something similar about action star Jack Ryan and action star Jack Reacher?
I mean, there's
how that's
some-
slightly confusing and they're on the same network?
Jack Ryan's a little bit more of the intellect and solving problems and brainy, where Jack Reacher is going to beat the crap out of you. That's the official breakdown.
Here's a story for you. A guy was caught in a resort town outside of Disney having relations with a vacuum cleaner in front of everybody. One of the most disturbing parts is he was wearing only a tank top and socks. That's just not okay.
What?
My favorite part of the story is he's going to undergo psychosexual evaluation. I think I can save them the time. Right?
Who is doing this where?
Outside in his yard.
Yeah, there's a problem. There's a problem.
Yeah, if there's not a problem,
right,
I'm way more worried.
If he gets a clean bill of health.
Yeah, if he's like, nothing's wrong. He just woke up this morning and it sounded good.
Yeah.
Choices.
No, that in and of itself is something being wrong.
I mean, even contemplating
Just
it?
the fact that
even thinking about it, like when you were 12 and...
There's a difference in all things between thinking about a thing and then doing a thing, no matter what it is.
Oh, thank God. Let me tell you guys about Mark and Neil Gelman of the Gelman team of eXp Realty. You know what I'm going to say before I say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Evidently, according to the guys who I trust, absolutely, they say that St. Louis is kind of down the middle. That it wasn't like, a few years ago, and I've even lost track when it was. I think like pre-COVID, when, people are listing their houses for $500,000 and people knock on your door at 6 a.m. and say, I'll give you $6, I'll give you $650. It's not like that, but it's also not like you're going to have to lose money on your house. Ironically, the more expensive your house is in St. Louis, those are like flying off the shelves. But anytime that it's kind of in the middle, I think that's when you really need a good agent. And I'll be honest with you, if it were like it was before and people were just getting crazy offers, maybe do it, whatever. But in this kind of a climate, you need a professional. I've used them a few times for real estate transactions. They were incredibly there for me. The communication was constant. I'm not a good negotiator. I'm not very tough when it comes to negotiation, so that was great. They were really good, and I couldn't have been happier with them. If you want to find out what they think your house is worth right now, you go to the front of the Gelman page, gelmanteam.com, and put in your address. We'll give you a number. If you want to talk about it, 314-336-1991.
Certain restrictions apply.
You feel it every time you check out. Prices up, paychecks stretched, families squeezed. That's why Ann Wagner's fighting to get government off your back and out of your way. Wagner passed the largest tax cut in American history, expanded child tax credits, ended taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. And Wagner is working to lower costs so families keep more of their hard-earned money. But Ann Wagner knows delivering from Missouri means more than just protecting their wallets. It means protecting our streets as well. That's why Wagner fought to secure our border, deport dangerous illegal aliens, partner with law enforcement, and put predators behind bars and off our streets so our neighborhoods and communities stay safe. Because real effective leadership protects what matters most: your money, your family, your safety. Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the door
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
Welcome to Willie's Wings, home of the secret sauce.
I'll take a dozen wings. Oh, by the way, I love that sauce. What's in it?
Can't tell you.
Why not?
It's a secret.
While many financial advisors claim to have the secret sauce, they don't. In fact, if their sauce is so good, why are they keeping it a secret? Steve All of the All Financial Group doesn't keep anything a secret. He knows there's much more to retirement planning than stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. He'll develop a strategy designed specifically for you. It's your own secret sauce for retirement. Call Steve today at 636-230-8824 for your personal portfolio x-ray. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Fine, you want to know what's in the sauce?
Absolutely.
Tablespoon of paprika.
Really?
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 3:01, we've got a cloudy sky. Right now, it's 92 degrees downtown at the Arch. Aldermanic President Megan Green has reached a settlement with St. Louis City stemming from a tear gassing incident in 2017. Green was among the protesters gathered at the Central West End after the acquittal of Officer Jason Stockley in the killing of Anthony Lamar Smith. Green will reportedly receive a $35,000 check. The St. Louis Police Officers Association is slamming the payout. Union business manager Joe Steiger calls it a backroom deal. He tells KMOX the case should have been heard by a jury.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're disappointed to see that City Hall chose to enter into an agreement before this was about to hit trial, especially when it involves the president of the board of aldermen, and she's one of 3 elected officials with the fiduciary responsibility over the city budget.
Green serves on the 3-member Board of Estimate and Apportionment, which controls city spending and approves financial settlements. The St. Louis County executive says the council's budget process is wasting time by requiring departments make funding requests for as little as a few bucks.
Sam Page held up a stack of requests from his department leaders to the county council asking they release withheld funds as budgets come up short. Page says these requests range from a few $1,000s to a motor vehicle allowance of $25.
The transfers are just now coming to a head because we're halfway through the year and we're running out of money in some of these funds. The process that they have identified to move money takes a lot of time.
Page adds this lethargic process has resulted in stalled funding for tuberculosis and STI treatment at county health centers. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Shoppers at Gravois Bluffs might notice a police presence this afternoon. St. Louis County officers discovered a man's body on a bluff ledge next to the Fenton Retail Center. Officers initially called out to the 600 block of Gravois Bluffs Boulevard for a midday welfare check. Detectives now working to figure out exactly what happened. Some members of the House, including Congressman Wesley Bell, want to expand the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act.
This bill would expand geographic and medical eligibility affected by the U.S. nuclear weapons program. Congressman Wesley Bell.
Those folks endured decades of health crises, economic struggles, and profound neglect by the very government that should be protecting them.
Don Chapman, co-founder STL Mom, says proposed legislation is adding to the existing RECA, things people would like to see.
There's a lot of things we can do to this legislation to make it better and fair and to keep adding on to it, but I have to be honest with you, our biggest thing is going to be just to be allowed to keep RECA.
The legislation has not been introduced yet, but is expected to face an uphill battle. Maria Aquino, KMOX News.
A group that's helped to coach hundreds of women to move into higher paying jobs says AI is changing the job market. Leslie Gill, president and CEO of St. Louis Career Accelerator, Rung for Women, says surviving swings in the economy often comes down to soft skills.
I firmly believe that is our secret sauce. As an organization, we really hone in on building confidence, building executive functioning skills, helping women overcome imposter syndrome, having them see themselves as the person they want to become.
Gil tells Total Information AM some entry-level jobs are being lost to AI. Let's get you an update of the St. Louis Business Index now. We go to Stifel, Scott Bedell. Scott?
Good afternoon, Michael. Hello, everyone. The largest decline in the price of IBM ever wasn't enough to offset progress on consumer inflation as far as investors were concerned. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 10 points to 52,508. The S&P 500 higher by 0.4% to 7,543, while NASDAQ advanced 0.9% to 26,107. Closer to home, the Bloomberg St. Louis Stock Index up modestly by 0.6 point to 1,695. Helping that index to move higher, Stifel Financial added 1.5% at $76.34. Boeing gained 0.75% to $217.11. ESCO Technologies up 1.5%. They closed at $325.46. On the downside, Spire fell 1.25% to $81.39, and Caleres lost 4.5% to close at $11.31. For KMOX, this has been Scott Bedell from Stifel Financial, member SIPC and New York Stock Exchange. For more information on our firm, we invite you to explore our website at stifel.com.
Our weather's relatively easy to take for this time of year as we go through our Tuesday afternoon. Sunny skies, still comfortable out there. Temperature and humidity. Temperature's about 89, 90 should do it for the high. Tonight, clear skies. Pretty nice evening again, especially once the sun goes down. Days are now getting shorter. 72 for the low. Wednesday, sunny skies, nice morning. A slow increase in the humidity Wednesday afternoon, 91. Wednesday night, clear, 74. Thursday and Friday, a little more like summertime. Sunshine dominates. Humidity is up, and the temperatures are up slightly, so nothing really extreme, though. We can handle 93 Thursday and again on Friday, and nothing more than a spot thunderstorm each day. Pretty tough to find, very limited. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sponsored by McKelvey Homes. We've got clouds. It's 92 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, DGS on KMOX. Few minutes past 3 p.m. Happy Tuesday. Nate Gatter joins us from the sports department. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Dave.
Love listening to you. I was listening to you last night on my way to band practice. I need to get this off my chest. I don't know you. You don't know me as well as these guys do, but I am completely mentally ill. And if there's a letter to be had, I have it. I come by it honestly. I'm a kook. And one of the things I do, because I have OCD, is sometimes when I meet someone, I associate a little word with them. Like I had a friend who, for my whole life, every time I saw him, I'd go pork, pork, pork in my head.
Yeah.
And every time I see you, I say this in my head. Nate Gatter would be more attractive if he was a little bit fatter. I've been doing that for 6 months now. I finally got it out.
Is that going to cure it?
Oh, I feel a little bit better.
Like, will that make you do it less, or does it not matter?
No, I'll come up with a new one.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife would probably agree. She's, you got to put on. She wants me to put on a little bit more weight.
There you go. Maybe she's sending me signals.
The two of you can talk about that. If she didn't already pay you for that,
that's good.
So, how great was last night?
I really enjoyed it. And it's funny because Wheels and I
we
were
talking about it
talking
before
during rush hour last night about how I'm just really not into the home run derby. Not because I'm a hater. Like I'm not against it. But just I think home runs as a general concept don't interest me as much as they do some other baseball fans. And in particular, home run derbies are just quite monotonous by nature, right? It's sort of the same thing happening over and over. It's kind of same idea as like a 3-point contest in the NBA. I've got nothing against a 3-pointer, but
Just
I don't
harder
really
to
need
do
to
than a
watch
3-pointer, but
right.
yeah.
I don't really need to watch 300 of them in a row.
Drill down on why you're not as enamored with home runs as the game itself.
Because the baseball that I like is a baseball that we've all realized is inefficient, and so we don't do it anymore. And I don't shame anyone for not doing it anymore. But the baseball that I grew up thinking was good and was taught to a lot of kids of my generation was good, and certainly to kids of Wheel's generation, was about sacrifice bunting and hit and runs and stealing a lot of bases. Stolen bases have made a big comeback compared to where they were a few years ago. And in general, I love that they banned the shift and try to encourage putting more balls in play, because to me, that's what I'm there to see. A home run is so fleeting. And one of the qualities of a baseball game in person as an experience that's true for almost anybody is that we don't spend as much time transfixed by the action as we do other sports. It's such a social occasion. People are eating their hot dog, drinking their beer, chatting with the guy next to them, and folks will say one of the reasons Americans love baseball is because you can do that and then lock in when the bases are loaded in the 8th inning and there are 2 outs and everybody knows, okay, we're going to watch this batter really closely, right? But a home run can happen at any time. So if I'm glancing to the side, and I'm a pretty attentive baseball fan compared to the average person in the ballpark, but if I'm glancing to the side and there's a loud crack of the bat and the ball's already halfway into the left field bleachers by the time I turn, because it was, a random bases empty at bat in the 3rd inning, the action's kind of over by the time I look at it. It's just a ball sailing into the seats. There's nothing wrong with that. I am so much more invigorated by a great double play, or obviously like
what if
a
you
triple.
only look up in the middle of the double play?
I find that if I look up at the crack of the bat for an extra base hit or a great defensive play, I am much more likely to still be able to see the vast majority of whatever happens in the play. And my point is, even if I'm watching, the home run happens in the real home run action happens in this split second of ball meeting bat that the human eye cannot process in real time anyway. That doesn't mean it's not cool to still observe as it flies through the air, but I can process a great defensive play in such a different way. If I watch the outfielder as he's tracking the ball and sprinting into the alley and following it all the way, and he's going to lay out for it, and now he's grabbed it, and does he hold on through right? That's going to have several layers to it. And I find that very gratifying as a fan.
Yeah.
I also just miss a little bit of the Tony La Russa kind of micromanaging baseball days, because I like to think the strategy too, but I'm not bitter about that. I understand we've moved on.
I don't think I've ever asked any of you guys this question, but based on where baseball has been, and then now the modern era of analytics and such, and, the home run, put on your prediction caps. What changes could you see in 10 years, 15 years? Do you see it returning to small ball or continuing to be more circusy?
I don't think we return to small ball in the sense of sacrifices, because I think everybody just understands now that analytically it's a very rare circumstance where trading an out for almost anything is a good idea, unless you're trading it for a run
is fine.
Right.
Yes.
But generally you can't control that.
But even
quite
that's
as much.
circumstantial.
Right.
If you're down 2 or 3, you don't want to trade an out for a run. You want to try to continue not giving up outs.
And so the analytics say that pretty much the only time that it would make sense to sacrifice a guy who's on the bases anywhere other than bringing him home is if you were trading the first out of an inning to move a guy from second base to third base, and your goal is to score that guy and no one else. In most cases, it's going to depend a little bit on the context, who's at the plate, who are the batters behind him, whatever. But if you have your number 9 hitter at the plate and he's not very good at hitting, but he is a pretty good bunter, and you've got your good leadoff hitter behind him, and there's a guy at second, nobody out, in a tie game in the 8th inning, it can still make sense to sack bunt. In most cases, it'll increase your chances of scoring that one run and decrease your chances of scoring more than that, so it can be worthwhile in that specific circumstance. Other than that, generally it's kind of gone out of the game. But I do think we're going to see, just because any time in professional sports everybody zigs, at some point there is an incentive, if the zig goes far enough, for somebody to zag. Especially in a sport like baseball, where the have-nots have a lot less than the haves. Mm-hmm. And so we're seeing that already this year with the Tampa Bay Rays and the way they are prioritizing contact and speed, and how they're using balls in play, infield singles, and
they
then
also
steals.
have the best home run hitter in baseball.
They do. They have Junior Caminero on their team. But they've got a lot of guys on their team who are not darlings of the exit velocity and analytics kind of conversation. And I think what they're showing is the same thing. It's the same Moneyball concept, just in another direction, which is that if baseball has decided, understandably so, that the things they value the most are power, high exit velocity home runs, then at some point there's going to be some real bargains to be had in the cast-off bin of guys who are fast and put the ball in play but don't hit it very hard.
Yeah.
And maybe you can find enough value there that you ultimately add value to your team efficiently.
Yeah, boy, there's a lot to go through. The Rays thing is almost the opposite. They have 3 or 4 of the best batted ball data guys in the sport that are the core of their lineup, right? It's Diaz, it's Caminero, it's Jonathan Aranda, all-stars, and they all have, if you go on their pages, they're all red on the Savant pages. But they're a team that can't have too many of those guys because of their payroll. So they have what they have, and then they fill in with whatever else is available. But their brilliance is their pitching management, right? They develop pitchers well. They find kind of guys out of nowhere that can become elite pitchers. Or even, like this year, they opened the year with Griffin Jacks as their closer. He stunk. They put him in the rotation, and now he's a good starter. They're good at that kind of creativity. But I don't think the game's ever going backward because no sport ever does. Football's never gone back to 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and it won't because the passing game is where it's at. We've learned that that's where you can move the ball and score more points more efficiently. The three-pointer is going nowhere in the NBA. Again, all of this is barring rule changes, right? But it will always be forward. Hockey will never go back to the old Canadian North American style. It is now a blend of the Soviet style, the European style, and the North American style. And it will
I do think
never
within
go
that
back.
there's a little tinkering.
No, there's a little, but broadly speaking,
yes,
we're never going backward.
To use the football example, which I think is an apt one, and it's pretty intuitive to understand. As everything became so pass heavy, then the popular defense became to play these 2 safeties very, very deep and say, well, if there's one thing we're not going to let happen, it's
big
Mahomes
plays.
over the top to Tyreek Hill for a 70-yard touchdown. And if we make a touchdown drive take 14 plays instead of 6
More chance
plays,
for something to go
the
wrong.
odds that you get a holding penalty or somebody drops a pass or whatever just increase, and those things generally favor
And
the
we've
defense.
seen how that impacted the Chiefs' offense in these last few years because teams are just taking away the big play. And they've also been short players. Offensive line's been bad. Running backs have been bad. So there's more to it. But league-wide, you're never going backward. But part of forward can be borrowing old elements and bringing them in, like the running game in the NFL. In hockey, there can be teams that want to play a little heavier that can be to their advantage if they don't have the speed and skill, which is what is prioritized in the NHL right now is speed, movement, creating space. Well, if you don't have that, your counter can be something older school. So there will always be that little bit of pulling here and there, but it will still be a new version. It'll still be that re-added to what is already new. It's never going to go back.
Nate, do you view Jacob Mizrachi as a freak or as an evolution?
I think he's probably some of both, right? In that he is freaky and that he has capabilities that very few of his generation have, but he is definitively an evolution because the things he has trained himself to do and the way they have harnessed his abilities are a function, at least in part, of his era. And I think certainly where he's an evolution is how they've then identified the freaky things about him and augmented them, which in any era, any coaching staff, any analytics department to the extent they existed, a scouting department, whatever, development department would have tried to do. But the way he's put on weight, the way he has fine-tuned his mechanics this year to take such advantage of his lower half and his lower back half, if you will, the lower right side that's anchoring him and sort of provides the base for everything that he's doing. I think he is, it would be crazy not to call him a freak, right? Because everybody has, all Brewers pitchers have access to the same development guys and the same analytical guys, and they're not throwing 105 miles an hour. So obviously there are freaky things about him, but I think it has to be a combination of both of those.
Yeah, it's both. But I mean, his freakishness is that he's 6'7", and he's got a body that can do what a 6'2" body is not going to be able to do as regularly.
Yeah. Can you hang another segment?
Oh, I'd love to be here.
Awesome. Okay, we're talking to Nate Gatter. Going to talk more Cardinals. I want to talk a little bit about a possible Walker extension, what that would look like, who's it good for, who's it bad for, and we'll touch on some World Cup before we let Nate go. Tell you about Mark Cantor, attorney at law, and as a former practicing attorney, as a lawyer, I take this very seriously, and I am unhappy with the way my former profession has evolved. Primarily the advertising, just the slop that you see, and just critical thinking. You got some AI lawyer dunking on LeBron James. It's like, okay, that tells me exactly nothing about your legal skills. Mark Cantor advertises, obviously, that's what he's doing right now. But he is subtle about it. He's professional about it because he is subtle and professional. He has been a trial attorney for decades, and my main message in these things is be careful. When someone says they're a trial attorney or a litigator, they're probably not. Probably means they fixed someone's ticket once and they were in trial, or they're in court once. To be a real litigator means you're there all the time. You're trying multiple cases per year. That's what Mark Cantor does. So if you or someone you care about is injured and you think someone else may be responsible for your injury, call him 314-628-9999, CantorInjuryLaw.com.
Hey there, it's Jill Schlesinger. I'm launching a new show. It's called Money Moves, and your money is going to move. We're going to help you make better financial decisions. We're going to call out the BS you're finding all over social media. We're going to give you your financial life clearer, less stressful. We're going to answer your financial questions and take the mystery out of your financial life. Follow and listen to Money Moves with Jill Schlesinger wherever you get your podcasts.
You take care of your dog out of love and responsibility. But what if every scoop that you're feeding them is slowly making them sicker? Not because you're a bad pet owner, but because the pet food industry never told you the truth. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Blank, Amazon #1 best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. Dog food is dead food, stripped of every live nutrient that your dog needs. That's where Rough Greens comes in. Just sprinkle it on top of whatever you're already feeding them. It's packed with live probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, and over 20 live vitamins and minerals, all natural and made in the USA. Thousands of dog owners are watching their pets transform. More energy, shinier coat, better mobility, and your dog could be next. Take the Rough Greens 90-day challenge. Give us 90 days and we'll give you a healthier dog, guaranteed. Get a free Jumpstart trial bag for your dog today. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. Use discount code USA. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code USA. Rough Greens. So good, your dog will ask for it by name.
Let's take a break.
Good idea.
Hey, Tom, what are you doing on that Amendment 4?
You know we fought for our freedom and rights. I'm not giving them away without a fight.
4 takes them?
That's exactly what 4 does. For over 100 years, Missouri voters have used our constitutional power to act when the politicians refused. I'll be darned if I'm voting to pass on less freedom and power to my kids.
It doesn't 4 kill majority rule?
Yep, creates minority rule, where just 5% of statewide voters in one district can block any citizen-led reform, making it nearly impossible to pass citizen-led ballot measures.
That's just dumb.
And when the politicians refuse to act, we've used citizen-led ballot measures to pass some big stuff, like lobbyist reforms, term limits for career politicians, and outlawing tax hikes without voter approval.
I'm not surrendering my power and rights to a bunch of politicians and lobbyists. I'm no on Amendment 4.
Hard no on 4.
Pay 4 buttons or inch, prepare governance.
Listen up. If you have not paid self-employment, business, or individual taxes in years, the IRS will find you. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. I offer real solutions. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Story, today, and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal, or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. At the Lance Story Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Each week during the Redbird Rush Hour, we put a spotlight on someone who's making the community better using sports. It's building community with Busey Bank beyond the game. Join us this week for another story of someone who's finding a way to make a big impact on the community we all call home. Brought to you by Busey Bank.
Proudly serving St. Louis for over 100 years. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Welcome back, guys. DGS and KMOX 323. Nate Gatter is here. We're talking sports. So Wheels and I did this for about an hour today, and talking about Jordan Walker. We just signed JJ to an extension. Everyone's euphoric about it. Walker would be the next logical one, and I understand basically the sliding scale of he'll never be less expensive than now, but he'll never be more of a risk than now because he's only really produced for about half a season. Where do you find the sweet spot?
One of the things I talked about this last night, and I'll probably visit it again tonight. I don't think there is a sweet spot right now. I don't think it's possible they can get a deal done. Because, for instance, Greg Amsinger, whose opinion I really value and who's very, very plugged in, made reference on this station yesterday or the day before.
On Gas House,
to, well, it should be, if it's an 8-year deal, it should be, at least $200 million. I think if the Cardinals called Jordan Walker's agent and said 8 years, $200 million, I don't know that he's even saying anything before he hangs up. I don't think we're even close to that conversation because as Wheels and I talked about yesterday, a little bit on the air, a little bit off the air, he has very different incentives than J.J. Weatherholt because J.J. Weatherholt has a couple more years if he hadn't signed this extension, at or near league minimum before he even gets to arbitration. Yeah. Then at probably 3 years, we don't know what would happen with CBA, but probably 3 years of arbitration before he gets to free agency.
Under the deal that the contract was negotiated under.
Right.
It would be 5 more years of control plus 2 years of free agency.
Whereas Jordan Walker,
actually 3 years of free agency.
After this year, is only 2 years away from reaching free agency, and maybe more importantly, he gets a payday of some sort right away. If he keeps up this production for the rest of this year, he is going to get a very significant raise in arbitration immediately.
Yes.
It's not going to be market rate, and it's going to be a 1-year deal at a time, but he's going to get a big raise next year, and he'll get another big raise the year after that. So if you imagine that one of the primary things a player is hedging against when they take a deal like J.J. Weatherholt did is the possibility of significant injury, right? That we don't like to talk about it, but it could happen at any point, and it's part of the reason that guys agree to those deals. J.J. Weatherholt could this weekend tear his knee apart and never be the same player, and he'll get $112 million regardless of that. For Jordan, and if it had happened and he hadn't taken the deal, well, his arbitration numbers would have been lower, and he might never have gotten the free agent deal. So you might be looking at a guy whose career earnings, instead of being the at least $112 million they are now, could have dipped under $10 million. Even in a worst-case scenario, under $5 million. That's very, very unlikely, but it could have happened. For Jordan Walker, if that injury were to happen even in April of next year, after he secured that 1-year deal in arbitration that will probably be 8 figures, I would think. It'll be low 8 figures, but it'd probably be $10 million or more.
They don't always jump that high in your first one, but it'll be a lot. Like, put it this way, you should figure probably somewhere 60 to 65 million for the next 3 years combined in arbitration, starting with 1, 2, and 3. So that's your starting point, and then after that, what's his free agency rate in the open market if he's out there at the 8? Because he's going to hit free agency right now at the age of 27. 28, that's his prime. That's where you get those 8, 9, 10-year deals at $450 million because you got the whole league bidding. But what we don't know is what the new CBA is going to look like, whether they're going to be teams that are capped out or the restrictions are higher where the big boys don't want to keep going. We don't know that yet, but based on how it's been, that's big money. So, like, the closest comp I could find in terms of service time and age was Bobby Witt Jr. He signed after his 3rd year, so with 3 years of team control remaining, but he got $288 million. But keep in mind, he's a significantly better and more productive player from day one than Walker. So it won't be that high, but it's going to be over 200. So you're probably thinking 245, 250 if you're going to do anything long-term minimum.
Walker's just facing so much less risk between him and free agency than Weatherholt is. Not none, but a lot less.
Right. You want to hang one more?
Yeah.
The thing that you need in the morning, when you first wake up.
Total Information AM.
I like to be informed with the news and like to know, like in the mornings, I like to know what's going on.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
It's always smart to know what's going on.
Your morning news and information.
The national and local news.
Weather.
Sports.
I like the traffic reports.
Total Information AM.
I listen to it in the mornings, so it really gets me going.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents?
Staples has folders, notebooks, and pens at great prices.
I'm smiling from ear to ear.
It's the most wonderful time.
Mom, I missed the bus of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, where school supplies start at just 25 cents. Staples. That was easy. Visit your local Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Enjoying the great taste and health benefits of cottage cheese is easier than ever with Pro Pack Snack Cottage Cheese Cups from Prairie Farms. Each perfectly portioned cup is less than 100 calories, low in fat, and packed with 12 grams of protein, making it a smart, satisfying way to fuel your day. If you're at work, practice, or a cards game, Pro Pack is your tasty grab-and-go snack option. Locally made, naturally delicious. Find Prairie Farms Pro Pack Snack Cottage Cheese Cups at your local grocery store.
We are on the biggest stage in the world right now, and you know I am talking about soccer. The whole world is paying attention, and FanDuel has decided to change the game. And as you know, if you bet soccer, that sometimes your player gets subbed out, and then what happens? Your bet goes with them. Well, FanDuel says we have a better way to do it. That's not happening anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues with the substitute. So you are still in it until the final whistle. Just go to FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started now. I've been telling you about this app for many, many months. I love using it. It's easy to use. All the information you need is right there. FanDuel.com/Missouri. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
You work hard, follow the rules, and get absolutely slammed by taxes. Your paycheck taxed, your property taxed, everything you buy taxed. Missouri's tax system isn't broken, it's rigged against you. The lawyers and lobbyists working for big corporations and the super rich buried over 200 loopholes for themselves in our tax code. While they pay nothing on the services they use, working families are taxed over and over. It's no wonder they're lying about Amendment 5. Our corrupt tax system is rigged in their favor. They're getting a free ride on your back. Don't believe their lies. The truth is, Amendment 5 closes loopholes exploited by the super rich and slashes taxes paid by Missouri's working families, phasing out income taxes and cutting property taxes. They finally pay what they owe while you keep what you earn. Vote yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, a tow vehicle just pulled off with the car on it, a stalled vehicle that was there southbound on Highway 55, approaching Highway Z between M and Z. So it had been blocking the left lane as well as the left shoulder. The emergency vehicle is still there just on the left shoulder. So that's the good news. The bad news is still seeing delays southbound on 55 between M and Z. Also working with a crash commercial at McNutt down in Jeffco, and a crash reported northbound on Highway 255 just before Highway 64 in the Metro East. I'm Frank Ladd of the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thursday night, it's City Soccer on KMOX. First up, Gen C's hosts a special soccer edition of Sports Open Line beginning at 6 from Energizer Park. Then, it's City SC facing Sporting KC. Pre-game 7:05, kick at 7:30. City Soccer on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Dave Murray's weather forecast is sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm.
Welcome back, guys. DGS and KMOX 3:33. Normally Dave Murray time, but as I told you guys yesterday, Dave had to take Rain, his oldest lab, to the vet and say goodbye to her. And I texted him last night. I said, "How you doing, my brother?" And he said, "I'm just barely hanging in."
Yeah, it's tough.
Dave.
It's tough. It's tough. So he's planning on being back tomorrow, but as a dog lover, we'll see you Monday.
Yeah, say take your time.
See you Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cardinal Report is sponsored by Rawlings. Visit the Rawlings experience at Westport. Wheels, I'm probably a week away from getting my custom glove.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I get to use it.
I'm just going to wear it everywhere.
You should wear it on the air.
Yeah, I'm going to be that guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just like the guys wearing them in the third deck at a ballpark where they're never going to get a foul ball.
Exactly.
What's the element of the custom glove you're most looking forward to?
That's a great question.
Did you get your letters on it? Did you get your initials on it?
I got my name and my number.
Nice.
Yeah.
Number 1, I hope.
Number 22.
Okay.
Yeah, I think just the overall, like I realized I started playing old man baseball last year, and I used my glove from like college. And I'm a big eBay guy, so I looked it up, like, oh, I wonder how good this glove is. And it's not. It's like you can buy one for like $7.
Oh.
And so I went out and I bought a Rawlings Heart of the Hide on my own, it's like $350. But it was like a revelation. I've spent my whole life playing with crap.
Yep.
And, it's not going to make me much better. But so I got another Heart of the Hide, and I'm just excited to get it. And, I'm a glove nerd. I couldn't care less about bats, but I just love baseball gloves.
It's good to have one thing. I think it's good to have one thing you really care about a lot, and it's good not to have too many of those things,
Yes.
right? Because it allows you to invest in this without ending up, spending $20,000 on baseball equipment or whatever. This is, because I was going to say the first bit, this is sounding like how a lot of middle-aged men talk themselves into spending way too much money on golf every year.
Sure.
And I'm trying to avoid becoming one of those
Dave.
men.
Yeah. No, I'm that.
He just started down that path.
I'm going down that path, and I'm just trying to restrain myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started playing golf about a month. Well, back in spring training, I played with Ricky, and he introduced me to a guy named Ed, and he's a golfer instructor, and we've been playing, and I just got bit. He's so good at instructing me that I can now actually play. Not well, but I'm no longer that guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, try my 6 hybrid wood. And I hit it, and I'm like, I must buy one, so because you convince yourself, like, oh, this is the only thing standing between me and being the scratch golfers, having this new hybrid club. I know you're a soccer guy.
Yes.
I was a big soccer guy. I played soccer. I loved soccer, but I've never been as into like the international game. Your thoughts on the World Cup so far?
I think it's been fantastic. And it's funny because I came in sort of pessimistic for two reasons. The biggest one was all the ways that FIFA took advantage of American culture to just completely gouge us. And I think they had so many well-deserved negative headlines coming into the tournament. And I was concerned it was going to be a cloud over the tournament the entire way. The second thing is I thought that expanding from 32 to 48 teams was a mistake. I think expansion is almost always a mistake, and it's just done, again, in chasing dollars because people want more ticket inventory. They really want more TV inventory, just more stuff to sell.
Yeah.
And it's not because anybody actually thinks it's better for the sport. I still mostly stand by that. I think the group stage was not as good as it would have been with 32 teams, but some of the biggest stories of the World Cup came from these, what we would call in soccer terms, minnows, these small countries that never would have qualified in a 32-team field. So it's not totally fair for me to sit up here and say that there's no legitimacy to those things because we got great stories out of them. I do think the group stage was a little bit limp compared to in the past, and apparently FIFA is now thinking about trying to go to 64 teams and get more than a quarter of the world in. Regardless, the point is that the cloud has not hung over the tournament. I have done a little bit of moral interrogation about that because I wonder if that's partially how they get us, right? Is that with any sporting institution, we love the sport and we love the event and we love the spectacle so much that we forget all the things about it that are objectively bad once the games start. But it has been nice. I'm glad it hasn't hung over American soccer culture as a result. I think this has been a galvanizing experience for the country and for the sport in this country the way we hoped it would be.
Yeah.
And 2 months ago, I was not optimistic that would be the case.
I think there's even a bigger benefit, too. I think the responses and the reaction to being in the U.S. by all of the fans that have come from all over the world has been a huge boost for us. Because they're going on social media and they're like, man, all we hear about in our country is how terrible the United States is, and we get here and it's great. It's awesome.
I don't know if the Iranian team feels that way, but a lot of the fans do. Yeah,
but I mean,
they didn't love Buc-ee's as much as the rest of them.
But I mean, you think about like all of these countries, and a lot of them are again, they're allies. They're countries that we would be friendly with, but they're talking about how in their news portrayal of the United States, it's a hellhole. It's crime. It's everybody fighting. Everybody's angry all the time. It's road rage and all that. And they got here and they're like, man, this is great. The people are cool. The food is good. It's a little hotter than we're used to, but and I think that was something that, as a nation, we needed the positive outcome. We needed to be like, okay, guys, we know our politics suck, but we don't suck. Right? Like, that's kind of the message.
So, Nate, when I played the game, if we would have flopped, we would have been taken out of the game. Is flopping a cancer or is it just an annoyance?
To me, I almost don't even see it. If you watch a lot of soccer, it just fades into the background after a while. It's actually been one of the things, it's reminded me of how much I've become ingratiated in the sport, the way that Americans have had this visceral reaction to the flopping element, because I just don't even think about it anymore. And so I've had to be more conscious of that because people care about it, and that is reasonable. I'll say two things. The number one defense for players is that in some cases, they really do need to do it to get a call. Some of it is on the referees because if you get kicked the same way, but you stumble and stay on your feet, they're much less likely to give it to you. In the way that, for example, in a basketball game, if you're taking a charge, you pretty much have to fall backward or you're not going to get the whistle, right? It's just something that people do. It's part of how you're taught is how to fall backward when you take that charge. And the other piece of it is just too much, right? There is a dramatization of it all that I think you just tune it out after a while, in the way that, the first time that you tune into, if you had never seen a Major League Baseball game for 10 or 15 years and you tune in for the first time and you realize they've managed to put ads on the back of the pitcher's mound and all the stuff behind home plate is green screens now, and so it can be very aggressively digital and burn your eyeballs compared to 2015. It really bothers you, and then it starts to fade into the background. That's the best I can say. I understand if people are annoyed by it, but I think if you watched enough, it's kind of lousy take, I guess, for me to say, just watch more of the thing you don't like, but it will fade away.
Dramatic. I've been surprised with just how absolute drama soccer is, right? Like, it would be like going to a baseball game and for 9 innings, people are screaming at each other. And you know what I mean? It's like I didn't realize, because most people think that soccer, I disagree because I played it, but they think it's a very boring sport and, someone's going to win 1-0. But it is the most dramatic, boring sport you're ever going to watch.
Imagine so I don't want to sell other countries short because they have other sports that they play and care about to varying degrees in different countries. But the parallel, I think, would be, imagine how much Americans would care about the NFL if we played no other sport. Or if the next biggest sport culturally was like MLS. Right? Not to say that MLS is not profitable and relevant and that people don't care about it, but it's a way, 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 way down from the NFL. And there are 3 professional sports leagues plus college football and probably college men's basketball.
Golf and car racing. And
that all slot in between or around MLS.
Yeah.
Imagine if none of those existed and all of that was concentrated in the NFL. And that was the emphasis that was placed on it. I think that starts to encapsulate the importance of soccer in most of these European and South American countries, in particular in South America, where, with the exception of Argentina, like even basketball is not generally as big as it is in much of Europe. They don't play cricket in the same way that they play it in Europe and Asia. Like, these are just, soccer is the thing. And so I think part of where the drama comes from is that everything really does feel like life and death in the way that an NFL playoff game does, if that were turned up 3, 5, 10 times by the fact that there's an absence of other sports and other seasons in the sports calendar.
He's good.
No, it's great.
He's good.
I mean, I get it. I mean, I think I get it better when I'm seeing it on this stage, because I never followed the Champions League. I've never done that, and it's such a distance for me. And I have so many other sports already. I don't have the time to invest in another one. But when you see it on the international level, it's just great. It's unbelievable to see up close. I kind of equate it to my feelings on golf is it's hard on TV for me. Soccer's hard on TV for me, except at this level.
Yeah.
But in person, it's always good. And it doesn't have to be this level. So, like MLS in person is cool. On TV, it bores me, but in person, it's cool.
We only have about 3 or 4 minutes here, but a couple people on the stream have asked this question. They said, thank you for the analysis on the Jordan Walker extension. What about a couple players like Burley or Wynn? Would they be more sweet spotty?
So Burley would be a player that doesn't profile as the rock star, so he's going to be more reasonable. He's a little older, so he's going to reach free agency at an older age. He doesn't have the mind-blowing 40 home run type power. He's a good player, where now Walker is ascending into being a great player.
Are you guys comfortable with Burley as he is being our future first baseman?
Here's the thing, and I think you and I were kicking this around a little bit in the office. You can't keep everybody. If you're going to pay Walker and Weatherholt and maybe a select couple of others, you're going to have to move on from some of them. So you can't be like, we're going to sign 6 guys. You got to find 3 or 4, and then you fill. So what's the easier guy to replace? Is it the Gold Glove shortstop, who might be the best at his position, who is also kind of an okay hitter and might have some upside there? Or do you sign the first baseman that you could probably replace with somebody? And I think it's the rarity of the skill set that you're going to keep. So the rarity of Jordan Walker being a 40-homer guy is what you're keeping. The rarity of J.J. Weatherholt basically being the perfect baseball player, right? He's the all-around player. The rarity of the skill set, the level that Mason Wynn plays, those are going to be the guys you want to keep and pay. The guys with the more replaceable, and this is not a knock on Burley, it's not. He's just not at the high end of any spectrum. He's in the middle of a lot of them. He's a good hitter. He's got some power. He's not fast. He's a decent defender, but he's not a Gold Glover. He's more replaceable from within than Mason Wynn would be or the others. So, like, it's not to say you don't sign him, but you can't keep everybody. Because if you do, you don't have room for prospects. And if you do, you won't have the money to spend at the top end. And think about how the way the Cardinals were. Albert Pujols got top of the market money when he was a Cardinal. The money he got at the time was top of the market. The Matt Holliday contract was top of the market. Yadier Molina was top of the catcher market for a long time. Waino was a high-end starting. They could afford that because they didn't sign the next-level guys. They let them go, and they replaced them with the John Jays, Alan Craigs, David Freeses, Michael Wacha, Shelby Miller, Jaime Garcia. That's what they need to get back to being. Pick your stars, sign them and keep them, but then you're going to have to sacrifice other places and develop guys to take those spots.
You back in tonight?
I am.
Cool. All right, listen to Nate.
I think we'll talk some more home run derby.
Yeah, we probably will.
So you guys about Zero Res. They've been with me for between 15 and 18 years, so long damn time. They are good people. Kyle is the guy who runs St. Louis. He's a good friend of the show, super solid guy. You're never going to have a problem with Zero Res. I promise you that. They have the 30-day Gotta Love It guarantee, which means just what it says. If within 30 days of us giving you the carpet cleaning, you're not, super blown away, call us. We'll come back and we'll do it again. But you don't even need that. You have the DGS guarantee. They are not going to let anyone get pissed at them and get, me get pissed at them. They are great at what they do. They're called Zero Res because they leave behind no residue, which is important. We're talking about carpet cleaning. And they always give you guys a great deal. This month, it's 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129. Also, get your air ducts clean starting at just $599 per unit. 314-474-2020. Let them know that you're calling about the DGS special. You can also book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
It's 3:47, and this time check is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
And this update brought to you by Scott Credit Union, headed southbound on Highway 55. Still seeing delays after the earlier crash was cleared out of the way just before Highway Z. At last check, had you backed up to almost Imperial Main now on southbound 55 in that stop and go stretch there. They've gotten the vehicle out of the way. It was just an emergency vehicle left on the left shoulder at last check. Still working with that crash northbound on Highway 255 just before Highway 64. And it looks like, according to IDOT, only the shoulder is getting by northbound on Highway 255 at Highway 64. 64. So all lanes blocked there, according to the IDOT reports. Out of the city, not bad this afternoon, just off the pace pocket, westbound 64 at Hampton, southbound on Highway 270. You got your normal slow stretch between 64 and Manchester Road. Reports of a crash just before Manchester Road, but not seeing too many major delays there. That's the good news. Westbound on Highway 64, you're on the brakes now. West of 364, out near Lake St. Louis Boulevard, in a pocket passing Lake St. Louis, headed towards Wentzville. I'm Frank Ladd in the michaelsfloringoutlet.com Traffic Center.
Upgrade your summer ride with auto loan rates as low as 3.99% APR at Scott Credit Union. New or used, Scott Credit Union helps you love your ride and your rate. Learn more at scu.org. Rates vary, terms and conditions apply.
Soldiers Memorial Military Museum looks at American military history through the lens of St. Louis. From the Revolutionary War to the present day, the galleries showcase stories of local service members and delve into the city's wartime history. Outside, the Court of Honors includes monuments to those who lost their lives in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Admission is free. Find information about special exhibits at mohistory.org/memorial. That's mohistory.org/memorial.
The financial industry is getting rich on baby boomers. Don't be their next victim. Find out the truth of what's really going on in the retirement industry. Join Greg Ayler Saturdays at 1 on Fire Your Financial Advisor.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
All right, guys, if you're in the beginning stages of trying to get yourself in shape, or like maybe you've been on a plan or you've been making an effort at it for a while and it's been slower than you want, it's getting frustrated, go to Supplement Superstores. Go in there and ask about the Burn Balance Complex. It's Burn Balance Edge for men, Burn Balance Zen for women, so there's an option here for both guys and women. And what it does for you is it helps the attainment of those goals work easier because it puts your body in a position to compete, right? We think about sports all the time. You got to put players in a good position to compete. They got to have the right diet. They got to sleep well. You got to take care of yourself. Burn Balance Complex can do that for us normies when it comes to reaching fitness goals. It's a complete metabolism system. It's not just a simple fat burner. It's way more important than that. It helps your body work with you instead of against you. So if you have, for example, like I tend to have a slower metabolism, it's going to get it working where it's supposed to be. That provides you with a natural weight loss option, and that works for you even if you don't want to be someone that goes and gets a prescription or goes and gets injections. If that's not for you, try Burn Balance Complex because it gets the metabolism burning calories the way that you need it to. On top of that, you can reduce your stress by having lower cortisol levels, which can also help with better sleep, controls your appetite and cravings throughout the day so you make good decisions, all-day focus energy, no jitter or crashes at the end of the day like energy drinks can bring to you. And again, all natural. It is not magic. You don't take Burn Balance Complex and immediately get where you got to go. But I can tell you from my own experience with it, these last several months, it makes it easier. And you know fitness is hard. If it was easy, then everybody would be in great shape. Everybody would weigh what they want to weigh. They would have the strength that they want to have, and it's not easy. Burn Balance Complex makes it easier. So get out to Supplement Superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you, and they'll knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex. All you need to do is find a location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, DGS. Most Tuesdays at 4 p.m. we have the Think Tank. Today we have Curtin Barr and Jeff Rainford. Lots of stuff to talk about nationally and locally. God.
What's wrong, Dave?
I can't stand the side of Will Ferrell anymore.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to lie. I've always loved Will Ferrell, but it's getting hard.
Oh, my God. Maybe no one has made me laugh more than him during the past 20 years.
Yeah.
He's clearly gifted.
Yep.
He had made great movies, was great on SNL. I loved Will Ferrell.
Mm-hmm.
But this latest iteration of Will Ferrell, where he just seems so thirsty and he's doing bad movies and he keeps showing up in character for that bad movie, and he did the home run derby last night and
Oh, did he?
Well, he was a part of like the surrounding festivities because his movie's a Netflix movie.
The Hawk.
Yeah. So basically, it's like
actually
Talladega Nights, but set in golf.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly how I describe it, too. It's actually a television series. I thought it was a movie, too, but I'm looking at the Wikipedia article here. Yeah, it's just, I grew up loving Will Ferrell as well, but you got to diversify a little bit, man.
Yeah. Well, he's done some serious movies that he's got good reviews for, but his public persona is the same. And it's just kind of the older he gets, the weirder it gets.
Yeah. Good way of putting it. It's 3:54. This time check is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Many times, a person hires a law firm after an injury without doing research. It can be a big mistake or not. Sometimes, after you have hired a certain lawyer, you realize you made a certain mistake. But guess what? Just because you hire them